Hi, this is Chidi. Your 90 Days Fiancé Fridays with Shabooty, George, and Coco.
Welcome everybody to 90 Day Fiance Fridays on a Friday as
What's up?
we expand our horizons.
What's up, guys?
Hello.
I, I feel like we're doing the tell all. You know how they're like 3, 2. Sean Robinson is like, "Hello, everyone. I'm Sean Robinson, and you're listening to the 90 Day Fiance Tell All Couples Tell All." I feel like we're starting it like that.
Oh my gosh, we are, aren't we?
Yeah, because we were here already, but now all of a sudden we
Mhm.
count it down. Like I feel like we're doing the Sean Robinson.
It's
Yeah.
very it's exciting. It's very official now, and our sound quality sounds way better, I think.
It does. I can't argue with the sound quality. I don't like the idea of changing everything. So now I feel like all out of whack and all discombobulated because now it's different. It's not bad. It's just
Mhm.
different. And I'm not a different type of person. I like this.
Yeah. I mean, but you know what? I think we sound great. I can hear everyone.
Mhm.
So I think that's a major plus.
That is there's pros and cons to this. So Coco, you were not here when
Mhm.
we
I was
started out.
not. Yeah.
So this past Sunday, we did a test run on Zoom. And
All right.
Mhm.
I think Shabooty, when he asked me afterward, how did I think it went? I described
Mhm.
it as insanely chaotic or something along
Yeah.
the lines of that.
So, oh, by the way, Lana's in here, and I was worried that Lana couldn't get in here, and Lana got in here. So I'm now all my trepidations have all disappeared. Anyway, okay, yeah. So, but I was the only one that got to listen to the playback of the raw audio.
Oh, thank God, because if you would have sent me that, I probably would have lost it because
Yeah.
I don't know if all of you know, but I'm a very, very much of a perfectionist. And
Mhm.
I rarely do anything that is not, in my opinion, perfect. Obviously, I'm not perfect, but when it
Mhm.
comes to making videos and editing and podcasts,
Like, so before we tell Coco what happened, my first reaction after listening to the playback was like, my first reaction was like, oh my God, George, you're like a consummate professional. Because while all this craziness was happening, like you were still kind of like very professional. And then I was just kind of giggling. But also the reason I was giggling is because the photos, they weren't really like loading on my page. I could see the white boxes, but I couldn't see the photos. But that's why I was laughing. So anyway, should we tell Coco what happened?
Yeah,
yeah.
what's going on? I'm like, I'm blind. You guys are like, oh my God, something happened. So what the
So
fuck happened?
here's the
Okay, well,
deal.
let's go with one quick background. So we did the Zoom, but then we just did like a no login required, and we posted the link everywhere.
Okay.
So basically, anonymous people could join in. Okay, now George, take it over.
Yeah, so we posted the link online, like anywhere with a hashtag or whatever, and people started joining, which is what we wanted. But there were people that were joining that were not logged into any account, and they started posting photographs and animated GIFs in the chat, and
Like anime porn.
anime porn.
What?
But the problem with it was not just porn; it was like bestiality.
Stop it.
So while I'm talking, immediately on the screen, a bestiality video pops. And I'm trying to keep my composure. You know, I come from a very professional background. I did radio. I did a lot of stuff where the show must go on.
Hmm.
So
Uh-huh.
I tried to keep it as professional as possible, but I'm not gonna lie, it was really difficult to keep
Yeah.
composure.
If you listen to the playback, it's on like Apple, Spotify. Check it out. 90 Day Fiance Fridays on Apple, Spotify. Listen to the playback, and there may be like parts where it's like we kind of not that we I edited it all out. I edited out all the riffraff, but there are parts where like because remember like I was gonna read something off Instagram and then we totally I forgot to read it because we got sidetracked. So there's like some kind of there's kind of like it's kind of disjointed. Let's just say.
Well, the funny part
Oh
is
Lord.
we did
Who,
a
what?
test. The funny part is we did a test run earlier in that day, and I was very vocal with my worries and my reluctancy to do it. And then when we actually did the live version, all of my fears came true. It was just it was really bad. Like I don't know when we were doing it, I almost was like, we're gonna have to scrap this and start over.
No, no, I mean the final product was fine when I edited out all the
Yeah,
rip.
you're right. It was, but when we were doing it, I was like, "This is not even usable material. I'm gonna send a cease and desist. I can't do this." Like it was really bad, but the finished product was good. But Coco, there was just so many distractions, right? Like you're trying to talk about a topic, and then some weird bestiality anime porn pops up on the screen.
I
One
mean,
after the
I would
other.
have been mad if it was like they were sending pictures of old 70-year-old dicks, and I'm very fucking jealous, and I've been like, what
You
the fuck? I would have like done anything for that.
Well, it was not. It was
so yeah,
really,
they weren't super fans because that's what a super fan would do.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, these were
Oh,
just
it's
trolls. These
gross.
were trolls.
And isn't that illegal, by the way?
I hope not because I don't want to get arrested.
It is illegal. Bestiality is illegal.
Well,
Well, no, I think it was anime. It was all anime, right?
well, it was all animated. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was actual like photos or videos of people, but it
Oh,
was like
thank God, because I was like, dude.
It wasn't anything in the Hong Kong strip club, so it's the gentleman's club. So it wasn't anything like that.
Got it.
well, it was. I'm just glad that today so far is going much better as we've entered into this because my anxiety was really high and I try to maintain a level of professionalism. That's why when people like trolls come at me online, I no longer like curse them out and talk about their families because I'm trying to be much more professional. So I'm just glad that things are going much better now.
Chidi told me he's in the room, but I'm wondering if he's one of the two Zoom users.
Oh, so Chidi is here.
Yeah, but the question is, which if he's one of the quote unquote Zoom users, I don't know. We got to figure out which one he is.
Well, he would have to be one of the Zoom users because I don't. Everyone else has a name,
True.
but how do we figure out which one? Can you ask him to type
Mhm.
something in the chat,
Okay.
and then, or no, tell him exactly what to type in the chat, and then we'll know when that pops up that that's him, and then we can rename him to Chitty.
True.
All right, so let's look at some of these comments while you're doing that because it's a lot. Um, Let's see here. People said I used Zoom during COVID. It's great. I don't like it. But we have the after show last week. Yeah, the last show, the show we did last week is gonna be one for the books. We're gonna talk about this in a couple of years
Oh
and
my God.
the funniest thing you ever discussed. George, we need you here. Oh, thank you. I wasn't gonna like not be here.
Mhm. And by the way, should we use this opportunity to wish Coco a early happy birthday?
Well, technically it's my birthday on the East Coast almost, but thank you guys so much. I'm officially old as fuck.
Oh my God. Congratulations on becoming 1 year older, Coco.
Oh no. I am doing something really fun. I got more we got front row seats to All American Rejects. So
Oh, I'm a huge fan of the
are you really? Don't lie.
No, I am. I have photos. I have photos with the band. I used to stalk them and everything. Yeah, I'm a huge fan.
Stop it. So yeah, we got like front row seats to the show tomorrow at the Virgin Hotel. Oh shit, I shouldn't say where I'm gonna be. Fuck, stupid Coco.
Oh.
Anyways, no, yeah, we're gonna go for some sushi, and then see the show. And I work the next day as well. So yeah, can't get too lit. Is that still a word? I'm still allowed to say that, right?
Well, I don't think the young kids are saying that anymore, but we can still say it.
We can
Oh,
say
by the way,
well, fuck them
JLP's
kids.
JLP's here.
JLP.
JLP has joined. I'm so glad that she's here. I'm so glad.
See, George, all your trepidations can be taken away.
They can. You're right. And going Coco, so my favorite song is Dirty Little Secret by All American Rejects. And a close second is Swing Swing. And that's going way back. I think it was their first single ever.
Hello, I'm
Oh
here.
yeah.
Oh,
Hey.
JLP's here.
Hello, I made it. Oh my God, it took me about 30 minutes, but I did it. I couldn't get in before because of the
You had to log in.
authentication to join. So that was throwing me off and I was confused. And then Zoom locked me out. And then I was like, wait a minute, let me try and see if I try to remember my Google password. And oh my God, it was a nightmare, but I did it.
This is what I was trying to tell y'all before.
It's
It's a
it's excitement of our podcast getting better.
nightmare. It's a
It
freaking
is.
nightmare.
I was really about to just throw in the towel, but I kind of remembered I had written my Google password somewhere, and I searched for it, and I was able to find it and get back in. But it was about I was about to throw in the towel. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm glad that you didn't. I'm glad that you're here. And I just want to make sure that everyone is aware. I didn't want this. Shabooty did.
George, I think you're jealous of Zoom.
I know.
I
just,
think
I
you're
mean, no,
jealous. You keep
but-
hating on it.
How's the sound? How's the sound now?
Isn't it exciting? We don't hear echo with
the sound
JLP.
is great, but
What the fuck is going on right now? Hold on.
Yeah, preparing to do some shit here.
Uh-oh, they're gonna draw more anime porn.
I was gonna say last week was I'm just gonna be real with y'all. Last week was a nightmare.
Speaking of nightmare, can I just say something real quick? I had like a death threat this morning.
What?
Yeah, there's some dude on Twitter, right?
Oh my god, this guy is psycho. I guess he asked me a question the other day, and like, you know me, guys, I'm brutally honest. He's like, I'm 52, do I have a chance? And all I said was like, absolutely not. And then he told me like this morning, he wrote like, I hope this one special person in Vegas just goes ahead and kills herself already.
Wow.
And before that, he sent me a 5-paragraph about how like he took the time to compliment me and lift me up. Like, motherfucker, I don't need you to lift me up. Listen, first of all, you're 52, not 72. Get that right.
You owe him something because he complimented you?
Yeah, and he's like, "Why are you such a bitch?" You know, like I was just like, "Well, I'm sorry. You should know my brand. Like 52. Like, introduce me to your grandfather, maybe."
Wow. Well,
I just had to get that off my chest because it was very annoying.
I'm sorry that you went through that. That was completely uncalled for.
Oh,
That's like when men tell women to smile or whatever. They're like, "You should smile," and it's like, how come they have?
Can I just say something real quick? I just want to read this because like I don't know if any of you ladies get the same thing where like a guy's like into you and like you just kind of reject him. He decided to write me this little nice message saying, "Hey, I like to try to understand why you felt it necessary to be mean to me on Twitter at exactly March 18th." Like he has a date already. Or now it's yesterday. I mean, is this how you treat people who spend money on you?
Oh, is he an OF subscriber?
Yeah, but he never purchased anything, so I thought that was funny. All I did was make a joke about one of your tweets. It wasn't a serious thing. Basically, then he says like, I used to feel sorry for people who are mean for no apparent reason to people. Now I wish they would go ahead and kill themselves and get it over with. There's a special person in Las Vegas I would hope would do just that. Kill yourself already, you miserable piece of shit.
Oh, damn.
That's what he wrote to me. And I'm laughing because it's just crazy. It's like, it's crazy.
And post a picture of him in the chat. I'm just curious.
Oh, I know. My favorite part is his screen name is Happy Jack because he's always happy. I'm like, clearly you're not very happy right now, Happy Jack. You seem actually pretty mad.
He doesn't seem very happy at all.
No, he actually protected his tweets because I went after him and it was hilarious.
What does he look like? I'm just curious.
He looks like he looks like a loser. Like literally, he just looks like your typical overweight, middle-aged white man who looks like he's on his 7th divorce. So I just thought that was funny.
Oh wow.
Interesting.
That was my day. Anyways, that was interesting.
True.
So
at midnight, do you want us to sing happy birthday to you?
Sure. Okay, but only if you got a 75-year-old jumping out of a cake.
Oh.
Well, we definitely don't have that.
Well,
yeah, okay, so
do it, George.
So George, yeah, Lindsay Ryder flaked out. What's up with that?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that because she messaged me today, and sent. I can't say what she sent me, but sent me something, and I thought that we were still on for today because that's why I heard from her. And then I hear that she flaked out for the second week in a row. So now I'm getting a little irritated.
But I wouldn't. I feel like last week it was more of a technical. It was sort of a technical issue because she was in the Twitter space.
Okay, I'll give her that. But like, what's going on now? Why isn't she here now?
Let me pull up my DMs.
Mhm.
Because I'm just gonna be realistic here. She did another interview with another blogger, and it seems like when it comes to getting her here, there's some sort of issue.
Yeah, no, I guess like her excuse wasn't that good because if she knows the time we're gonna go on and what parameters that involves. So basically she was saying like she got home with her sons and she doesn't want them to hear her talking about this, unfortunately.
That's what she said today?
Yeah.
Oh.
Is it
Which is
on the East Coast?
yeah, I think Detroit is East Coast, but it doesn't matter what time zone. The point is she knew what time we were doing the show, and now she's saying now that she's home with her kids, their sons, she doesn't want them overhearing her talking about the subject matter. But it's like, didn't you know that's what was going to happen?
I think she went on somebody else's podcast. Then she was gonna join us, and then she might got cold feet from it. I think we shouldn't ask her anymore. Shouldn't invite her anymore, and just let her like reach out to you and say, "Well, listen, I'm available today."
Oh! By the way, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to get Chidi in here, but hold on.
See, at this point, I don't know if I want her on.
Exactly. I don't.
Like at this point, I don't even know if
Yeah, well, I certainly one thing I will say if because she likes to do like the pre-promotion. She likes posting stories that she's going to appear on a podcast. So like I'm not going to pre-promote her because if I pre-promote her and she flakes out, that's going to make me look shitty.
Yeah, no. Let her reach out to you when she's on the space already, and not have anticipate her showing up, because it seems like she has a lot of excuses going on. Last week it was she was drunk. The other week it was now this week she's having childcare situation. No, if you know you're gonna do something, you make time for it. You put aside the time for it. Like I'm on a podcast at 10 o'clock, so let me put my kids to bed early, or go outside and talk, or something like that. But don't wait till the last minute till we're on the podcast to say you have some shit to do. I mean, I know we're not like, a television show or something, but still, give us some goddamn respect.
Yeah. Okay, so so I'm trying to get Chidi in here. Normally, so there's three. It's the issue is I don't know what Chidi's screen looks like, but so we have three users. It's just like Zoom users. So I'm gonna try to unmute all three, I guess, to figure out which one's Chidi.
Oh.
Normally, I think we wouldn't have the issue because then the person could just rename their account.
Well, I could just send a chat to each one, and and see if because you can message them.
Yeah.
He's done that, but the participants, it shows a different color under ZU versus the chat like ZU.
Oh, I see.
Okay, here we're just gonna have to roll a dice, y'all. We're gonna get Chidi. We're gonna unmute and then see if Chidi will speak. Okay. Anyway, we're trying to get Chidi to talk in here, but anyway, what were we talking about?
Oh yeah.
Hello?
So hello.
Yeah,
Is this Chidi or someone else?
yeah, it's me, it's Chidi.
Oh shit, it's Chidi.
Wait,
No.
I'm just curious. Is this the first person you unmuted?
I muted all the three Zoom users.
Oh, okay, because I was like, wow, you rolled the dice on that one. What's up, Chidi?
I'm cool, man. I'm
Oh
enjoying
my
you
god,
guys.
this is so exciting.
So we've been wanting to have you on for quite a while now, and I'm really glad to hear that you are here with us right now.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
No, it's very cool to hear your voice.
Thank you.
So you were in a very, very controversial relationship on the show, and we have so many questions, right? Like I have more questions than anything, and I want to know from the very beginning, like let's go back to old school. When did you and Renee start talking? Because we've heard different variations. Like we heard that you guys were talking and then you stopped talking for years and then you started talking again. Like when was your first ever contact with Renee? And like how did it start? Like where did y'all meet?
Yeah, that was 2018. We met on social media. She sent me a friend request on Facebook, which I accepted. I never knew then whom I had on my friend list. Not until one fateful evening when we got started chatting.
So
Um,
she reached out to you first. She sent the friend
yeah,
request.
yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
Mhm.
But y'all didn't talk right away. So she was just like sitting on your friend list with no communication.
Mhm.
Yeah, I never knew I had her as a friend. Not until the day we started chatting.
Really? And did she reach out to you first? Like, did she message you first?
Yep.
Really interesting. So, did you know anything about like? So, all you could see was a photo of her. You didn't know anything about it. Did you even know
I
where she
didn't.
was
In
from?
fact, I never knew whom I was chatting with that fateful day until she asked me if I do go fishing. So, over here, fishing is not something we admire.
Mhm.
It's not something we attach significance to. So I was annoyed at that question and had wanted to quit the chat. But on a second thought, I stayed and stylishly asked the person whether he or she goes fishing. And the person responded yes and started describing the environment where he or she was. It was then it dawned on me that, you know, the person I was talking to might not really be from the same, environment. And
So,
Oh,
yeah,
so Chitty, were you disappointed you weren't on the tell-all?
yes.
so when did you find out you weren't going to be on the tell-all? Because, or like, when did you find out that they weren't going to feature you on the tell-all? Because we heard that it was a last minute decision.
Yeah, it was I think, not 2 weeks, a week before the tell.
Really?
Yeah.
Did they give you a reason or no?
The only thing they told me is because of Renee. Yeah.
So
Because
because
she's like a loose cannon.
were they worried about what she would say on the tell-all, or was it her actions throughout the season, like or they
I think it has more to do with her actions, the
uh,
things she did while she was here during the production. She made several threats against her life and against the life of the producers, even my own life, if she couldn't get what she wanted, you know.
Oh, she threatened the producers during filming.
Yeah.
really.
That's awful.
That is awful. I mean, it doesn't surprise me, based on the way that she reacted and treated your sister. Your sister was very hospitable to her and she was very nasty to your sister. And I was wondering, how did your sister react to meeting her for the first time? Like, was it like what we saw on camera, or was she nicer to your sister when the cameras weren't around, or was that really who she was?
Well, it is pertinent to note that Renee had predicted a conflict between she and her future sister in law even before she met with my sister. So it is a self fulfilling prophecy.
Mhm.
Ah,
Yeah.
so no matter what the outcome of the situation,
Yeah. Even if I wasn't the one, even if it was someone else, that's the same way she would have reacted. Because when we ne- when we newly met, that was what she told me, that she's always afraid. She has this awful feeling about her future sister-in-law. You know, she has issue with sisters.
also there's other issues with sisters as well. So not just sister-in-law, she just doesn't get along with women in general.
Yeah, she at one point said she doesn't even like women. So I
Oh,
think it's a compounded issue.
Like, but before the shit hit the fan with you and her, you had gotten in fights previously. Like you had broken up before that.
Yeah,
Before.
we dated for 2 years and we broke
Mhm.
up for like 3 years.
Oh, but well, yeah, there was a gap where y'all broke up. But it was it. I'm saying was it? But was it a volatile relationship like the whole time though? Like, was it a lot of ups and downs? Like,
You mean
like
during the first 2 years
um,
we dated?
yeah, okay. Like you, when you first were together, were there a lot of fights?
Yeah, yeah, at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. So when y'all broke up, was there any communication at all, or did she just like fall off the face of the earth? Like, did she?
We went our separate ways.
Oh, so there was no communication. Was she still on your Facebook friend list, or no?
No,
Oh, so she removed herself from your Facebook friend list. You didn't communicate, and there's no communication. So what sparked you to reopen communication with her? Like, what happened?
when she came back to me, she told me she finally had the opportunity to come back to Nigeria to see me in person.
Oh,
She asked for a back in my life. That was 2023, around um May. Yeah. So
Was
she
she?
asked for a back in my life. She
Mm.
said she applied for a TV show
so
So,
wait.
called,
do you know if
yeah.
she was like a 90 Day Fiance super fan?
I don't know. Like that day was the first day I heard about the show. I never knew anything about it.
Mm-hmm. You
And
didn't know it had a crazy ass fan community?
so she said she finally had an opportunity to come see me in person. So she said she wants us to use this opportunity to see if it can work out between us. And since we are meeting in person, we'll look for possible ways to have earnest and honest discussion to see how we can get over some of those issues that tore us apart in the first place.
Is she still?
And
Does she still shit talk you online to this day?
no, we don't talk.
No, but
When
no,
they
I'm not saying you talk to her. I'm saying does she talk shit about you still to this day?
Well, of course, yeah, she does. She does. It's unending, like what you saw on the show is just who Renee is. So, though, in some of her posts, she has been trying to cast off blame on the producers, cast off blame on me, but no, you can't fake all of those things. There's no way someone will instigate you to behave in such abnormal ways. you know um the narrative she is trying to create all this while is that she was instigated to you
So
know act or behave in those ways. But now the question I still want to ask are this: one, was it me or the producers that told Renee to mock my God, berate my religion, and belittle my faith? Was it me or the producers that told Renee to disparage me and to treat my family with disdain? Was it me or the producers that told Renee to make all the racial posts she made about me when she went back to the States? She called me a boy. She said my heart was darker than my skin. All the vile words Renee used against me and which she continued using against me. Is it me or the producers that infused them in her brain? No. That is whom Renee is.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I saw a post that she put up that she was that she had found a doctor to help you get the surgery for your vision, and that she was assisting you with that. Is that true at all?
A post?
She had posted that she was helping you find a doctor. She had helped find a doctor for you, and they were going to do the surgery, something along those lines. Did she ever help you with that at all?
You mean while she was here or after she left?
I think she posted it after the show.
yeah, after
No,
this, yeah.
there's nothing like that. It's not true.
Oh,
I remember. You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
yeah, I remember.
Yeah. That she said she was helping. She had found a doctor for him, and she was helping to get him to come here to get the surgery for and restore
No,
his vision.
we never discussed about such
Hmm.
after she left. No, that's not true. It's not true.
And also, she said that you were very sexual when you were texting and talking over the phone and the computer, but in person you switched it up on her, and you were all about your religion and being celibate.
Okay. Thank you so much for that question. Yeah, you know, Renee has been trying to change the narrative, right? To validate her actions and to whitewash her abnormal behaviors. Renee went and fabricated a message and suggested I was sexting her before she came, but that is lies. I told Renee that I would not be sleeping with her before she came. And the first day the producers contacted me, I told them about my vow of celibacy. They told me that I have no qualms with that they do respect people's choice and people's, faith and all of that. The
I,
night I told
I,
Renee got angry. She blocked me and contacted the producers and told them that she had one other guy here in Nigeria. The guy is a blind guy too. His name is Emmanuel. She dated her before coming back to me after the 3 years we had, you know, been apart. She contacted the producers and told them that she wanted to replace that guy, that Emmanuel guy, with me.
So
And
She
she
was out
had
there
another.
she had another blind.
yes, before she came back to me,
But do
there
you?
was this other blind guy named Emmanuel here. She was
So wait,
dating.
do you know this guy? Have you heard of him?
Yes, we went to the same blind school together. She contacted the producers and told them that she would want to replace me with the guy. Now the producers refused, telling her that no, this is not the person you introduced to us. This is not the person you told us that you are coming to Nigeria to marry. And that same night, the guy in quote called me and asked me what was happening. That Renee called him rather, and asked him if he would be willing to come over to Lagos to be with her rather.
Look,
So
was Emmanuel the kind of the fallback guy? Like if it didn't work out with you,
I
she
don't
could go
know.
holler at him.
I don't know, her plans. She never told me when she applied for the show. It
Well,
was
what
so
I wonder is if she was dating both of you at the same time.
I don't know. Like she was dating her. She was dating him before she came back to me. You understand? And why am I telling you this?
She was.
I'm just giving you this fact for you to know that I told Renee that I will not be sleeping with her. Right? Now, how will I still be sexting her when already I've told her that I will not be sleeping? It was something I wasn't shy of. I made it
So,
clear to her and the producers. I made my stand known to both of
so
them.
if she,
Everybody knew. So she said I was sexting her. That was not true. It wasn't
so
true. She knew all
she was
along that I would not be
messaging
sleeping with
you,
her.
if she was messaging you, sexual messages, how did you respond to that? What did you say if she sent you something that you would be considering?
When we started chatting again, after she contacted me, in fact, we had a reset. We started a relationship all over again when she wanted to bring about those old, because during that first 2 years we dated, yes, we had romantic chats, but when she tried bringing those chats again, I told her that within the space time of the 3 years we've been apart, I've gone through a spiritual transformation, that I have grown in faith. I made all these things known to her. I never engaged in such chat with her. It's not true. She fabricated that message to
The Chidi, are you friends with Usman, aka Soldier Boy?
no.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you friends with Michael?
No.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I've heard about them
Yeah,
after I
Michael.
was on the
Michael with
show.
Angela, the guy.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I didn't hit you up and like befriend you.
Huh?
I'm surprised I didn't want to be friends with you. You know.
Well,
Yeah, but
they're not in the same area because Michael is here and Soldier Boy is Tanzania somewhere.
no, he's Nigerian.
No, I'm saying
He's Nigeria, but I don't think he's in Nigeria right
he's
now.
not in, that's what I'm saying. They're not currently or have been in Nigeria for some time, ever since filming whatever.
Oh, George, is that right? Usman isn't in Nigeria?
He moves around a lot. I'm trying
Mhm.
to think of the name of the city that he's in. Um, I
True.
think he's in Nigeria right now, but yeah, I'll figure out the name of the city he's in. But
Oh,
yeah,
Abuja.
Abuja, yeah, Abuja.
Oh,
Abuja is
Chidi,
the
are you close?
capital.
Chidi, are you close to Abuja?
No, Abuja is in the north. I'm in
Okay.
the west. I'm in Lagos.
Okay.
Yeah, Africa's like a humongous continent. Like there's hours and hour long plane rides just to get from one part of Africa to the other. So it's very possible. They're not even close to each other, not even in the same time zone, maybe.
I'm a little disappointed there isn't more camaraderie with the 90 Day Fiancé alumni.
Well, I think it would be cool if they did know each other, but also I have to say all black people don't know each other, right? We don't all know each other,
True.
So it is
Mm,
what it is. It's interesting that they didn't reach out, but at the same time,
mm,
like
yeah. So,
Michael,
so Chidi, how are you so well spoken?
Come again, sir?
No, how are you so well spoken and articulate?
Well,
Didn't he say he went to college and everything, and that's why she was like, oh, that he needed her, and he said, before you came here, I was educated and all of this stuff. Remember?
yeah, I've been to. Currently, I'm running my masters. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that he
I've,
told her he was well educated way before she came into his life, and that he wasn't gonna fall apart without her. Remember that episode, guys?
I didn't mean that question in like a bad way. I just mean you have like super, like great. You're like grammar and your like articulation, like what I mean. You and your enunciation is like perfect. You know what I mean?
thank you.
Yeah.
Judy, would you consider if you met someone, um, would you consider being on the show again? No,
It's not something I'm looking at now. I'm just
wouldn't revisit that.
looking at building my life, and
Do you have a lot of groupies in your direct messages?
yeah, I do.
Let's go.
Let's go, Chitty.
Are you recognized now when you walk around?
You mean here?
Yeah.
I know the show is not as popular
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
as it is in the States. It's just a handful of people that knows about it here.
Do you ever get a chance to travel to other countries?
I know I've never traveled, but I'm planning to do that soon.
Yeah, within Africa, you've traveled.
No, I've never
Oh,
traveled
you
out of
never left. You
Nigeria
never left.
before.
Oh,
oh wow, okay.
Okay.
What are some places that you would like to travel to? Like, do you have a list of places that you would like to visit?
Yeah,
Other than the
um,
US, right? Do you want to come here?
I love Canada.
Canada. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah,
Gina, did you hear that? Our producer Gina is in Canada.
Yes, I
yeah.
did hear that, Sydney. What do you like about Canada?
Is it the
Uh,
lady?
no, no, not really the lady. I just love the people there.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
They're very nice.
they're very
yeah, they're
friendly.
nice people. Yeah, they are very friendly, hospitable, just like people in the States too.
Oh no, they're nicer than us.
We are. We
I
have
mean,
our little moments of
Yeah,
kindness. We have
yeah.
our moments of kindness here and there.
They're much more sporadic.
Now, Chidi, I just wanted to ask you about your the surgery that they were talking about. Did doctors tell you it would be possible to restore your vision if you had that certain surgery?
No, like what I want to go for is advanced prognosis to see if um there have been advancements in terms of
Oh, okay. I see what.
facilities. Yeah, I just want to try again. You
Okay.
know.
You wanna see,
Yeah.
yeah, if they've come up with any new.
Yes. If I go, for the prognosis. If they recommend surgery, then I'll go for it. But if the answer is negative, then I will take consolation that I exhausted all
Right, that you have
chances.
to
Yes,
decide
the
that.
opportunity I had, I made the most of it because it's something so dear to my heart. You
Yeah.
understand? So,
And I assume the producers like you because you're a very nice person, right?
um, of course, I am a well loved person, and I think I believe it is the grace of God. Um, anywhere I've been, I've always been loved, and yeah, even Renee knows this. Forget about all the shit she's posting here and there, all the nonsense she's saying. She knows how kind-hearted I am. She knows how genuine I am. She knows how caring I
So
am. She knows that I meant well for her. But since things didn't go her way, she keeps, ranting nonsense and trying to look for possible ways to, like, you know,
Yeah.
discredit me, to pull me
Wasn't
down.
there wasn't there a scene in the show where she had her chicken like in the bedroom on top of her bed? Wasn't that kind of weird?
You mean when she was with us?
Just watches me on the show. Like, there's a scene when she was in New Mexico. I guess that's where she was from, where she had the chicken like on in her bedroom on top of her bed, and I found that kind of weird.
Well, I don't know. I can't see, so I don't know. I can't answer that.
True.
Well, okay, I have a question. I don't want to be blunt, but like you said, you're a likable person. You seem like a really good guy. Can you give me a real reason why you wanted to be with someone like Renee?
Well, thank you. I love that question. I can answer that without taking you back to when we first met, right? I
Yeah.
told you we met on social media. The first day I started talking with Renee, that was when Renee told me about her ordeals. You understand? Renee told me she was living alone in a vast world. How she told me how every other person had turned their back on her maritally. The men she had dated, they mistreated her. She had never felt love. She never knew what love is. At the family level, she told me every member of her family thought she was delusional. They hated her. They mistreated her.
Mm.
They treated her as an outcast. At the religious level, she told me the church also had cast her off. She told me about how she, at one point, visited the pastor and spewed alien and Illuminati at the office. The pastor had to send her away and recommended she be taken to a psychiatrist. At
Oh.
the societal level, she told me that, the human society was against her. The picture she painted about herself was so
Or
tantalizing, and it was so how will I put it, emotional,
Mhm.
sad.
touching. Yeah. So my first drive, like what moved me first to Renee, was not even affection, it was sympathy, right? I
Oh.
felt so sympathetic, yes, and so
Mm.
compassionate, because I was wondering how can one experience all of this. And I myself have been in such situation where I was knocked down by adversity, and I had loved ones who were all there helping me, caring for me. And I saw how this really helped me cope with my disability and my adversity. So I vowed that I would always be there for this woman. You understand? So it's not so much about affection, it has much to do with sympathy and
Mm.
compassion. I I I,
Ah.
I
Okay.
saw Renee as a broken person that really needed help. My heart bleeds for Renee, even till date. Forget about all the things she's saying. Renee needs help. She needs help.
So
She's a broken and a damaged person that needs
so
help.
your goal, you set out to help her, not necessarily be in a relationship or with her. You wanted to befriend her and make her feel like she wasn't alone. And then the
Yeah, that was the first thing that informed my my friendship, you understand. But along the way, yes, I developed affection. So it was
Developed
is
affection for her. So I'm just curious, the way that she acted on the show, how long did it take for that side of her to come out? Because obviously, when you first met her, I'm assuming things weren't as tense and crazy as they were towards the end. So how long did it take for that aggressive side of her to come out?
well, the aggressive side of her has always been there.
Oh,
But there are things that do spark up those side of her. One is when she's not getting what she wants, just as her mom said at the beginning of the show that she will get angry if things doesn't go her way. You know. Um.
Yeah, I felt bad for your sister because she took a lot of her Renee's shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
so how did your sister cope with your relationship with Renee? Because I know she made it clear on the show she didn't want you to be with her. So what was the things that your sister was telling you about the relationship?
Well, one thing with my family is that they don't like standing on my way. They don't like, you know, asserting themselves or their opinion on me. They always believe that I am a grown up adult, that I have the right to choose what I want. They always support me, you know, in every necessary way they can, so long as they see that, okay, this is what you want, this is what you feel or believe that will give you happiness and satisfaction. My sister saw what I refused to see. And yeah,
And Chidi,
when I
so
will,
Chidi, you're so tell us you're writing a book now, or it's already written, right?
yes, and it will be coming out this weekend.
This weekend. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Tell us what it's called. Tell us what it's about. Tell us where we can buy it.
Okay, my book is called Light Within: How I Conquered Blindness. It's a story of my life that encapsulates the totality of my experience, you know, my struggle, the hope, the faith, the resilience that helped me in the journey of blindness.
And
Wow.
It captured, yes, my early child experience or my childhood experience, how I lost my sight, my experience with healers, the hope, yes, just as I said earlier on, the hope and the faith that helped me pierce through or puncture through the thick cloud of despair and pain to get to where I am today.
then where can people buy it?
On Amazon, I'll post the link.
Amazon. Okay.
Yeah.
What was the title of the book again?
Light Within: How I Conquered Blindness.
Oh, and then I know you posted on your social media you had like choice that you were trying to decide between two book covers. So did you figure out which
Yeah.
book cover? Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Say that again.
Hello?
Can you
I
hear
didn't
me?
hear you.
No, I was saying on your social media you posted like two different book covers. So did you figure out which book cover to use?
Yeah, we are deciding on that today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's in since you're not part of the 90-Day Fiance Fridays, Shabooty, George, Coco, Captain, Gina family, we'll definitely like promote your new book on social media for you.
Yeah,
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
appreciate that.
and I'm also gonna purchase one for myself. I think that it sounds very enlightening. Sounds like something I would
Yes,
love to read.
it's quite inspiring. It will bless your life.
Are you gonna sign a copy and send it to Renee?
Yes, I hope and pray she reads it, because Renee is someone that doesn't take accountability
Hmm.
for her actions. She believes that every other person is responsible for her problems. No,
Hmm.
you
Yeah.
know, we all at some point face circumstances. It is our responsibility to look inward and to discover those strengths and abilities in us and to harness them to overcome our challenges and our circumstances in life. What Renee should know is that you don't ask what the meaning of your life is. You are being asked. And how do you answer? You can only answer by being responsible, taking responsibility for the things you do.
Mhm.
She doesn't take responsibility for her action. Instead, she looks for other factors or individuals to cast
Mhm.
blame.
But this is a random ass question, but this is what makes this entertaining. Chitty, do you know what a lowrider truck is? Have you heard of a
Low
lowrider?
truck?
There's a like a pickup truck that's a lowrider. Have you ever heard of such a thing?
Yeah, I've heard about it.
Because apparently, the reason I bring that up randomly and crowbar that into this beautiful interview is because apparently Renee is from the lowrider capital of the world in New Mexico. The city she's from is known for all these like pickup trucks that are customized to be lowriders and like barely standing off the ground. So that's where she's from.
Okay.
I
I
have a
fig-
question for you. Did you ever meet or speak to her children?
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Did you ever speak to her children? Did you ever get to speak to them or FaceTime with them before she came or after she came to Nigeria?
Yeah, that was when we newly met.
Oh, you spoke with her children?
Yeah, and they are lovely children. They are awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
that was during the filming.
No,
Oh, he said when they initially met.
Yeah,
when we initially met.
the first round of the relationship, because they
Yeah,
dated and then they stopped speaking for a
Mhm.
while, years, and then they restarted the relationship.
yeah.
True. Oh, and then Chitty, while you're here, can you do me a favor?
Okay.
Okay, if it's okay, I would love if you could record like an audio drop for us, and then we're gonna like put that at the beginning of the show as like an introduction to the podcast episode. So like, if you can say something along the lines of like, I mean, you can change it around how you want, but if you could say something along the lines of like, "Hey, this is Chitty. You're listening to 90 Day Fiance Fridays with," and then you could say like, you don't have to say all of our names if you want. You know, well, I guess it would be cool if you could say like, "Hey, this is Chitty. You're listening to 90 Day Fiance Fridays with Shabooty, George, Coco, Captain, and Gina." Or you don't have to name all of us, but something along
You say you
those
listen
lines.
to
Can you do like an audio drop for us?
you just say you listen to the Shabooty podcast. Everybody knows who comes attached to it.
Something along those lines. But yeah, and then when you're ready, everyone else be quiet except Chitty.
Let me see if is it not something I can do much later, maybe on
N-
Instagram?
No, you can, but it's funnier if you just it doesn't have to be perfect. Just right now, and I'll just like pull it from the recording. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just say something along the lines like you just do this. So like, "Hey, this is Chitty, and you're listening to 90 Day Fiance Fridays." That's something like
Okay,
that.
can I say that now?
Yeah, yeah. Say that now. That's all you gotta say.
Okay. Oh, okay. Hi, this is Chidi. You are on 90 Days Fiancé Fridays with Shabooty.
That's good. But George might be upset. His name wasn't in there.
Oh, okay, okay,
I'll live. I'll live.
okay,
Shabooty
okay,
and crew.
okay. Okay, let me try again.
No, that was no, well. You can okay. And that was good. But if you want to do it again, and go ahead, it's up to you.
Hi, this is Chidi. You are on 90 Days Fiancé with Shabooty
Well,
and
you
George.
say sorry. I got to say 90 Day Fiance Fridays.
Okay, hi, this is Chidi. You're on 90 Days Fiancé Fridays with Shabooty, George, and Coco, right?
Yeah, that's good.
So,
Captain, we'll have to Photoshop. We'll have to edit your name in there somehow.
all right.
I'm just
There's
a
too many
redheaded
Oh
stepchild.
gosh.
I'm just a redheaded stepchild that shows up only when he's being sick.
Well, that's what happens, Captain, when you don't show up every show like the rest of us.
Exactly. That's all right. I love the concept of it anyway.
Hmm.
Just as
So,
as he's saying it to show up to Shabooty Fridays.
True.
so, Chitty, I have a question. I know that things with you and Renee didn't work out for obvious reasons, but I'm just curious to know if you are seeing anyone right now. And by seeing, I mean dating, talking to, courting. I know you're not being intimate with anyone, but like, is there anyone special in your life that you are building something with?
Yes. Yep, 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 yep.
Really?
Oh.
What? How much can we know?
Interesting.
Is she local or is she in another country?
Well, I don't want to talk about that now. You have
Okay, so you want to keep that part private because your last
yeah,
relationship was extremely public.
yeah. I want to keep it because it's still at the cradle stage. So
I mean, she's
Wow.
pregnant. She's pregnant,
Oh,
no, I say cradle
meaning like a cradle for the baby.
No.
rubbing the
Oh,
cradle.
no, we are just weighing the possibility of it working. That's what I mean by
Right.
Wow.
yeah. We are just
Well, congratulations. We're very, very happy for you.
thank you.
So, Chidi, would you do another season of a 90 Day Fiance without Renee?
Oh hell no, I
Single
can't
life. You
do anything with Renee
No,
again.
I mean
It's,
like be on the show, but without her, at a different with someone else.
if it falls on me, yeah,
Would you be
it's
on the
cool.
single life?
Hmm?
Would you go on the single life? 90 Day Fiance, the single life?
I don't think it's a bad idea.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, on that show they would showcase you dating. They would show you in a relationship with someone. So we would watch along as you find a new love.
Wait, that would be nice to see Chidi searching for the right girl on 90 Day Fiance, single life.
Yep.
It would be. It would be.
Mhm.
So I know you don't want to answer this, but is this woman that you're dating, is she local or is it long distance?
Well, I said we are just weighing. It's not as if we are dating, but we are just looking at the possibility.
Okay. How many
Yeah. So,
how many miles between you? I'm gonna Wendy Williams this. I gotta get this answer out of you. Is she
Mhm.
is she on the same continent as you?
I will tell you that later.
Okay, so I'm not gonna get an answer, guys. I tried because if she's from a different country or if she's from the U.S., then we might be able to see you again on the show because it's a possibility that if it blossoms into something more serious, it could be you coming over to be with that woman, and we would look forward to that.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Not that
Well,
we don't support you dating someone local either. Like wherever you find love is fine, but we would support it a little more if you were going to be back on the show.
assistance. My primary concern now is to find a wife. You understand?
Yes. Yes.
Show or without show, to find a wife, someone that will love me, respect me, accept me the way I am, and love my family, and respect the God I serve. So,
I,
yeah.
Chitty, I don't want to. I know you're like a God-fearing man, so I don't want to ask you ignorant questions. But are you more of a boob guy or a butt guy?
Oh my God.
oh God, Shabooty.
Oh.
Hmm?
Are you more into a woman's upper half or lower half?
Well, to answer your question, I don't focus much on
You're,
my attention and attraction on physical appearance, though it has its place, but my first and foremost priority in choosing who will be my partner is the inner beauty, the
Mhm.
beauty inside. Yeah.
The brain and the
That
personality.
Yeah,
that
the personality, yeah, the character.
that's an excellent answer. But based on Renee, I'm gonna say not but because she didn't have one.
Yeah. I told you earlier on, it had much to do with compassion and sympathy. Like, yeah,
Well, I'm
affection
going
was
to give
there.
you a little bit of advice. So in your next love journey with whoever that you're with, I want to make sure that your relationship is based on love and understanding and
Yeah,
compatibility rather than
you are right. It
sympathy.
was a grave mistake I made. I've learned from that mistake. Yeah, never again to love out of sympathy. No.
Yeah, because if you're in a relationship with someone that you feel sorry for or that you pity, then you can't fully learn to love that person for who they are and for what they are when it was built on sympathy or pity. 'Cause in America, like we call it like a pity relationship, right? Yeah, and
Yeah. I had one of those.
Did you, Coco?
I did in high school. I just felt bad because I didn't really like I felt sorry for them. Um Needless to say, he turned out to be a complete psychopath. So that one was on me. But I think like when you're in a relationship, you should be there for love. Like if you love them, not I mean, you could feel bad sometimes of what they go through, but you shouldn't put that stress on yourself. Trying to be with someone that you just don't feel like it's gonna work out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not prolonging it.
Chidi, one of our co-hosts, Coco, who you're talking to with the beautiful accent, she's into like way older men. And when I say
Oh
way
God.
older, I mean
Thank
like
you.
one foot in the grave and the other foot's on a banana peel.
Thank you. I've
Wow.
always heard that saying, and I don't know what that means.
It means you're about to slip and both feet and your whole self is going to be in the grave.
Oh.
But yeah, Chidi,
Well
what do you think about women that date grandfathers?
Great grandfathers.
Well, I believe it's all about choice. Maybe that's what they choose for themselves.
Mhm.
You got to
True.
remember going forward, Chitty, if you didn't break it, you can't fix it. So don't get into these relationships with broken people that you can't fix.
Yeah, I've learned from my mistake.
Yeah, I mean, I really felt bad seeing you go through what you were going through with Rain. It seemed very one-sided, and it didn't seem like she was willing to compromise in any of her actions to fit the relationship, to fulfill the relationship. It seems like it started out as a faith-based relationship. When she got there, she was talking about, religion a lot and stuff like that. But then when she got there, she portrayed a completely different entity. So, just going forward, you got to look out for that.
Yeah, you're right.
So Chidi, is this your favorite podcast you've ever been on?
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, because we're pretty funny, right?
Yeah, it's cool. It's interesting. I enjoy you guys a great deal.
Well, we enjoy having you.
Yeah, and if and like if you want to, I know it's like late there, but if you want to hang out with us while we talk about regular 90 Day Fiancé topics, you feel free to hang out with us. So you have I mean, like you don't have to leave. You could stay and keep and talk with us while we go through some 90 Day Fiancé topics, and also you have an open invite to come in the future.
Yeah, there's no problem. It's cool.
Hey,
And then also in the future, we would love to talk to your sister, and we would love to hear what she has to say about Renee.
oh, I'd love to hear her insight on Renee and the chicken market. We pretty much knew, as the viewers, we pretty much knew how that was gonna go, because we know that in certain countries, we have the live markets. So, you pretty much buy the chicken and they prepare it for you there. They cut it up, whatever. So we knew how that was gonna go down, but we were not expecting her to freak out that badly. But I think it was more set up by the producers, that shock value.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it could be, but that's how we do it here. If we have a visitor we value, that's one of the way we show respect to our esteemed visitors. Killing a live chicken, and if it had not been Renee, if it had been someone else, we would have still done the same. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
because that's the way it's done in your country. You can't, not everybody has the advantage of going into a supermarket and buying the
yeah,
already prepared.
Oh, so Chitty, like, what other 90 Day Fiancé people are you like friends with that you talk to regularly? You there?
the cast members.
Yeah, like, are you friends with any other cast members, like on social media that you talk to a lot?
Yeah, sometimes I do chats with some.
Name a couple. You there?
Yeah.
Is like who do you chat with the most?
Oh, let me think.
Or just name one.
Angela. Imagine.
Okay. What if I said, um, I will tell you. Don't worry. As we carry on, I will remember.
Okay. All right. So do you want to hang out with us while we just go through our rest of our 90-day fiance topics?
There's no problem.
Sure. Yeah. All right. All right.
Great.
You could just hang out with us and just be like our celebrity, like co-host guest.
Yeah,
Yes,
comment on whatever you want. Drop your opinion as we go along.
Yeah. If we talk
man.
about a topic and you have a thought, just jump in and give your 2 cents.
Maybe some other time because it's already 4 a.m. here, getting to 5.
Okay.
I'm feeling sleepy.
Well, yeah. If it's 5 a.m., 4 or 5 a.m., whatever you want to do. If you have to pop out, we understand if it's 4 or 5 a.m. But we really enjoyed the interview talking to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chidi.
Thank you very much for
Thank you so much.
coming
Thank
and
you.
sharing your story. And we look forward to buying your book online. So make sure you shoot us that link so we can purchase your book.
Yes, please
There's no
do.
problem.
Yeah.
And please don't hesitate to promote it as you promised to.
Yes.
No, we will. We look out for the guests on our podcast. We look out for them, so we'll promote the book.
Okay,
Absolutely.
thank you.
And
I
yeah, if
appreciate-
you want to come back on here in the future, we loved having you on. It was really exciting. So obviously, you have an open invite to come back anytime.
All right, there's no problem. I will.
Thank you. It was really awesome hearing your voice, and you're like you're our first Zoom celebrity guest because we just recently switched platforms. So.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's super great. I love that. Thanks for having me.
For sure.
Of course.
So, thank you, Chidi. We'll talk to you soon, I hope.
All right. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Thanks. Bye. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Well, I gotta say, he's definitely the same as I envisioned, like from the show. He's
Mhm.
really a decent guy, and I had to ask. I was like, "Explain to me why you wanted to be with Renee because I'm just not understanding it." And his explanation, it makes total sense to me. He wanted to help her, and she wasn't looking to be helped, and he, his help and his love and his kindness was taken advantage of, and I understand why, he wanted to help her and why he wanted to be there. Kind people try to be kind to people, and then mean people walk all over them. So I kind of understand it a lot more now.
Well, you
Yeah.
got to keep in mind that initially, when they began talking, he said he was a different person, and then 3 years later, he revisited, his faith and all that stuff. So he changed his outlook, and she didn't. So that's what made it an imbalanced relationship because when they started talking, remember he said they were texting a certain way, but then after he found, religion again and whatever, he made it very clear that he wasn't into premarital sex or anything like that, and that's where everything went left.
The disconnect was there, but what really was weird to me was they stopped communication. She removed herself from his Facebook. They weren't talking, and then all of a sudden, when she got a call back from the show, and obviously she was talking to some guy named Emmanuel, and she was talking to Chidi.
Isn't that crazy? She was talking to another blind guy in Nigeria.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Mhm.
is there like a blind guy app that she's on where she's just
Well,
finding
that's what I was gonna
Nigerian
say.
blind guys? Because that was that I think that was one of the most shocking things that he said tonight. I was like, so wait, you're not the only blind guy that she was talking to.
It's like on blindnigerians.com.
And
like-
what made it even more crazy was he was like, oh yeah, I know the guy. We went to school
Yeah,
together.
they went to the same school together.
Oh my God.
Could you
Mhm.
imagine
Right?
poaching for to be on the show?
One of our commenters, Laney, said he should be on Love Is Blind, but
Oh,
I don't know if that's appropriate.
I don't know if that's appropriate or not, but maybe.
I don't think so. It's literally meaning that love is blind. Literally, I think it's just a metaphoric.
Oh, Lainey says she meant Renee should be on Love Is Blind.
Yeah, but
True.
always metaphorically love is blind. It's not
Yeah, metaphorically. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird that she has a fetish. So like Coco, you have a fetish. You like men that are like basically dead.
Mm. In her case,
Oh, you son of a bitch.
love doesn't have a pulse. Yes.
Well,
Okay, let's go with that. Sure.
and Renee's fetish is black men that can't see.
Mm.
Like,
Okay.
because
Are you
not all-
saying I'm basically
not all-
Renee right now?
No, I just think that it's weird how people have these fetishes that are so important in consuming to them. The fact that she was talking to two Nigerian
Well, okay, hold on. I mean, I don't really think it's a fetish. It's just what I'm attracted to.
Oh, so it's not a fetish. Okay.
No, because I've always been this way. It's not like something new.
She's
I
attractive.
never dated anyone my own age ever.
So wait, I have a question, Coco. When you were 16 years old,
I was a virgin till I was 21.
But like, no, when you were like younger, I don't want to say 16, that's getting creepy.
Sure.
You were younger and your dream guy, like in your mind, you know how girls have a dream guy, like they're Prince Charming, the guy.
My Prince Charming was Leo McGarry from the West Wing, who is in fact 46 years older than me.
Even when you were like younger.
Yeah, I've been in love with him since I was 12.
Oh, so yeah, you're definitely not a fetish girl at all.
No, I'm not. This is literally who I am.
Yeah, this is you. This is you.
Me.
So even when you were in like a senior in high school, you couldn't crush on anybody at school because they were just too young.
They're absolutely true. I mean, like I remember like thinking like when I was in high school, like I said, like I was obsessed with John Spencer from the West Wing, and I was like, that is the man I'm gonna fucking marry. Unfortunately, he died before I was legal, so that did not happen. But I've always been feeling kind of a void of like men who look like him. So yeah,
You know,
so he'd be if he were alive today, he'd be 78 years old.
Oh, that's barely like your age group. Barely. That's just like trimming the age number. Like I'm sure you would love it to be 81, right?
I mean,
yeah, we should. I'm sorry we didn't ask like Chidi about the older men in this world that we could hook you up with.
Oh, well, yeah, well, we could have. Yeah, you're right. We could have asked him. But I mean,
but we should definitely have him back in the future.
Yeah, I was gonna say we could definitely have him back on and we can talk to him about that. I felt kind of bad when we were asking him some of the questions. Do you feel like he's like a super pure Christian boy and we were like
yes.
Yeah, we definitely had to tone it a little bit down with him because
I was like, I don't want to like what's the word? You know, like make him feel uncomfortable because he's like a born again Christian, virgin guy, and it's like you know how we talk out over here, you know. So I was like, kind of bad because I was like, oh my god, he might feel.
Well, that's why I was pretty quiet.
Yeah, well, what's her name? Raven says, "Oh my gosh, Shabooty, you did enough damage."
Yeah, Shabooty.
Okay,
I mean,
I think that the thing that Shabooty said, it sounded worse than it was. I don't think his intention was what people thought. But when I first heard it too, I was like, oh, I would word that a little differently. But he reworded it immediately. So I don't want people to think that that's what he was saying at all.
Right.
Yeah. No, I thought she was talking about when I asked him about if he likes boobs or butts.
Oh.
Oh god.
No, I think it was early on.
I thought we were talking about something else. Let's just go with that.
Let's go with that. Anyways, no, but yeah, that was really exciting, and see, that's the power of Zoom. All of us like being able to four co-hosts and Chidi and not having sound issues was pretty amazing. I will say.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, we're gonna win George over one way or another.
Well, I mean, I don't see a lot of our list of our usuals here, but I guess they're slowly going to come over.
No, you probably just don't know their like names, but I know them and they're all here.
Oh yeah,
I see a lot of them here. Yeah, I think our normal.
I'm scrolling.
I don't think
we got. Let's get some shout outs that are like our usuals that I recognize. So there's Elena, there's Izzy, there's JAL who I know, there's Lana who's like the goat, there's Lori, there's Musina who I know from Twitter, there's Pineapple Girl, there's Raven who I know from Twitter, there's Sherry from Canada who I know. So a lot of our goats are in here.
Oh, okay. So we're doing good. We're getting there. We're getting there.
Everyone hasn't migrated over here yet, but I feel like it's gonna take some time, to get everyone over. But eventually they'll all be here. You know how when everyone in New York decided it was too cold and they all moved to Florida, they didn't do it all in one day, but eventually everybody made it down here.
Yeah, they'll come soon. When they get to Twitter space and see it's empty, and then they'll say, "Okay, where is everybody?" Like that Will Smith meme that he's just looking around an empty living room.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. And again, this was all Shabooty's idea.
Well, I think it's a brilliant idea, but I'm biased.
I'm gonna wait to see how it turns out. If it turns out great and we're on the iHeartRadio Podcast Awards next year, it was all my idea. All my idea.
Take all the credit, George.
Absolutely. My idea. It was my innovation and I did it.
Everyone loves the sound quality.
Yes, much better.
Yeah, it does sound, you know what? Listening to it, just like in conversation now, it does sound clear as a bell,
Yeah, like the freaking when we were trying to have a conversation and I hear like feedback, it just totally would throw me off of like what I was about to say. It just threw me off the loop, whatever. Threw me off what I was gonna say.
All right. Let's push forward with this.
Anyway, should we go to our topics?
Yes, let's push forward with this. I don't have the 3:00 in the morning cutoff.
Yeah, we should push through some topics, and there's a lot to cover actually. So yes,
there's a lot we didn't even start with our topics really.
Wait, someone said I love George's modesty. Well, what did I do? I don't even know. Let me get out of the comments because that's not till later.
Yeah, because that's going to distract you.
Get to the topics.
Okay, let me just go through our topics. Let's see. Oh, by the way, our podcast, because I posted that map that shows all of our listeners. So our podcast has been listened to on Apple, Spotify, downloaded in 1,779 different locations across the globe.
Wow.
So that's not total listeners. That's just different areas of the globe that people listen to.
All right, that sounds good.
That's crazy. So different cities and countries and locations. Wow, that's very impressive. That's very impressive. I saw something earlier in the week that said that we were number 7 in the country of Malta. I was online and I got, I have Google alerts on myself, and don't judge me, guys. I'm just obsessed with myself. And I have Google alerts on myself, and I got an alert that I was trending in Malta, and I was like, oh, that's weird. So I clicked on it and I looked at the podcast chart is what brought it up. And it said that 90 Day Fiancé Fridays was number 7 out of like the entire charts of Malta. We were number 7. And I thought that was insane because I don't even know anyone in Malta other than the one chick who was with the Sperminator guy. And I don't even know her like for real. So I was just taken back by that information.
Yeah. Oh, and then it's funny too. Like it's weird when there's 90 Day Fiancé fans and, occasionally I'll DM them on Instagram or something. And then people will tell me like, oh my God, I tell them like, do you listen to our podcast? And they're like, of course I listen to it, when I was. And then there's one woman in particular who was a very beautiful woman where she was like, yeah, I used to live close to you and I would listen to it when I was driving to work, but then now I moved far away from you. And then I was like, why don't you tell me you listen when you lived nearby? Now you moved away. Now you tell me you listen to our podcast? What the fuck?
Oh, how does she know where you live?
That's what I want to know.
No. I mean, like, I know what state she lived in, and she knows and I told her what state I live in.
Oh, okay, cool. Because I was like, oh, that could be weird. But
but anyway, one of they do listen to our podcast, and then she used to live near me, and then she moved away. But I just found out she listened to our podcast after she moved away, and I was like, why don't you tell me that you listen to our podcast when I knew you lived nearby? But anyway, that's a whole nother side topic.
Let's selfie together. Okay, before we get into the topics, happy birthday to Coco.
Exactly. Should we sing happy birthday?
Sure. Why not?
Okay, ready, everyone?
Uh-oh.
Yep.
1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to Coco. Is anyone else singing happy birthday to Coco?
Happy birthday to Coco.
Happy birthday, dear senior fucker. Happy birthday to
my God,
Coco.
George,
Wait, by the way, Shabooty, exactly what rehab is your father in right now? I think I'm just gonna make a little quick visit.
I was just about to say happy birthday, senior fucker.
I
No
mean,
comment.
I'm just gonna say, I'd love to give him a helping hand.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Oh wow.
You better put your dad in protective custody.
I know.
It's gonna be like protective Coco custody.
Yeah,
yeah, restraining.
witness protection.
I guess I won't have to check up on him that week because I know he'll be in good hands.
More ways than one.
True. Well, yeah. Happy birthday, Coco. I hope you
Thank
have a
you,
good
guys.
time.
I appreciate that.
Many, many, many years to come.
Okay, now we have to get into the topics for real.
Go, go, go.
True.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's see. What's the first topic on our okay, real quick. Okay, let's buzz through these. So in no particular order. So I posted, like what's his name? I'm having a brain fart. Who's the 90 Day Bad Boys guy who's not
Josh.
Rob?
Josh.
Josh, right.
Yeah.
So Josh has like preview models, and then I posted a thing on my Instagram, which is like when you sign up for one of their like events, like one of their modeling events where you pay money and then they like scout you.
Yeah.
So I posted it on Instagram. The only part I want to quickly like touch on is that I felt it was a little weird, and it's on my Instagram if y'all don't know what I'm talking about. But once you sign up to the preview models audition, so the audition email, once you sign up, it says like preview models, hey, and then it says your name. It says ready for your audition. Here's a quick reminder of your audition details for preview models, and has a date and location. And then the part that like weirded me out on the invitation for the audition, it says, quote, "It's okay to be nervous." Did y'all hear that? It says it's okay to be nervous, which I found a little weird and kind of creepy. Like that's something you would see from like
Yeah.
that's something. Well, it's ironic because I was gonna say it's something you would see from Harvey Weinstein.
Oh
but
my
I,
God.
I know that's Josh's last
I
name.
liked it. I was like, that's something you say right before you lay on the casting couch.
Yeah, so it's just a little weird that it says like it's okay to be nervous. So that's the only part I wanted to bring y'all's attention.
Well, we've discussed this company many times before, and we've explained to everybody. Oh my God, I can't remember how many times I explained to them how this company works and how they used to work in malls 20 years ago.
Yeah.
We don't need to rehash all of it. I just thought that was fun, not funny, but it was just interesting that the invite says like it's okay to be nervous. That's very creepy.
Yeah, that definitely would have made me not want to join their shit.
Like, why am I being nervous? What's going on?
It's just pictures.
Yeah,
You're allowed to give them all of your life savings, so don't be nervous.
It's more than life savings. You sound like you're giving over.
Mm-hmm. Who knows? Or you may be in I'm just joking when I say this. Allegedly, you may end up in a private room with the Rob the Knob, and there's like an assortment of butt plugs. You don't know what's gonna happen. Allegedly.
And there's masks and costumes and all kind of.
That sounds like my birthday party.
Strobe lights.
Hey, for Coco, that doesn't sound like a nightmare at all.
No, and if you're gonna bring me like a senior buffet, like, dude, just like you all can leave and just let me be happy.
True. Okay, so then did y'all see my meme where I posted? I know it's not Stevie's mom, it's Stevie's dad's girlfriend or something.
Yes.
And she looked like, what's it called?
Phil Spector.
Phil Spector.
Yes. It's so funny.
Yeah.
So I posted that, and then Stevie follows me on Twitter. I mean, on Instagram, and then I assumed she wouldn't like find it super hilarious because it was making light of whatever the Phil Spector look. And then, so do you want to know what Stevie DM'd me after I posted that on my Instagram?
Please tell us.
So you got Maudie in your DMs when you post about him, and you got Stevie in your DMs when you post about her.
Yeah, and for the people that don't know what I'm talking about, just go to my Instagram at Shabooty.com, and then you can see the like Phil Spector meme. But now, do you want me to go find the meme? I mean, the message that Stevie sent me.
Yeah. Also, we can post
Yeah, it may be. I could also post it to my Twitter too, if y'all like. But
Yeah, because I think there's a way to share it in here too, but we'll figure.
There may have been a way to share it in here, but I may have disabled it so we don't have any nitnicks in here. But so
Okay.
I could just for now just look it up on my Instagram at Shabooty.com. But I could read you what she said.
Yeah, just read it. It'll be
Yeah, I'll read. It don't matter. Everyone can look it up. Okay, this is what Stevie DM'd me after I posted that innocent and hilarious meme. She says, "Quote: That's not my mom, and she's super kind. So no, I don't like it." And then she said, "I would have rather you came from me than her." And then I said, and then my response to her was, "Sorry, dear, it's a comedic reflex, nothing personal." And then she says, "I get it. Just sharing my opinion on this one. And she isn't my mom. So I was just letting you know. But she's a super close family friend and did a lot for me." And then I said, true. And
Oh,
then that was pretty much it.
so that's kind of how Madi responds to you too, right? Like,
Yeah, they both kind of come at me.
yeah, they're kind of snarky and they're like, how dare you have an opinion about me when I'm plastered all over national television?
Yeah.
that's the problem, that these people come on the screen and display their whole life, and then they want us to stay quiet, not make fun of anything, not make jokes. I mean, that's the whole purpose of the Twitter, to make jokes.
Yeah, it was like it was a meme. It was a funny meme.
Yeah, it's a meme. There's a couple shows that I've restrained from watching because my sense of humor doesn't align with a lot of other people's sense of humor. So I restrain from watching it because I don't want to go to Twitter jail or get
I
canceled.
know what you're talking about. You're talking about Jay and Pamela and Balin Out Loud, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. I don't watch them either because my sense of humor is a little.
I can get dark. I can get dark, and I don't want to get canceled.
Yeah, I definitely can too. So I get it.
Hello.
For the most part though, Stevie and Madi need to understand that the 90-day community is gonna have an opinion about you no matter what you do.
Absolutely. I mean, you're on a reality TV show.
Exactly.
You're
I'll
gonna
pull
be
her off.
subjected to criticism, snark. Like this is what happens when you sign up to be on TV.
I was about to say that. They knew what they signed up for. Just
Yeah.
watch the others, everybody else get dumpster dive
All
trash.
bets are off. That's like I do with 600 Pound Life. I mean,
Yeah.
I know people say, "Oh, these people they shouldn't make fun of them. They're being exploited." Once you sign on the dotted line and you come on that screen, all bets are off.
Nobody is doing these shows, 600 Pound Life included, unwillingly. They all willingly signed up. They signed, like you said, they signed the contract. They knew what they were getting in for. So at the end of the day, I'm not saying to go out and bully people, but at the end of the day, you're entitled to your opinion. Because if I am in my house where I pay the mortgage and I pay the cable bill and I turn on my TV and I see your face is fair game.
And you know what? Making funny memes about it, like for the Twitter community, like when you have your Twitter community and your fam, they actually come there to look for you to make fun of something, because they're like,
Mhm.
if we kept it PG on the Twitter on the Twitter feed, then
Mhm.
the show would be bullshit. You can't make a joke about anything, like with that show Bailing Out Loud.
Yeah.
You were refraining from making fun of her because she has a disability. But then you read all the tweets, and it's like church in there. You can't, there's nothing funny. It's like boring. Like,
No, it's a compliment for us to make a meme of you, first of all.
oh yeah, it is.
And yeah, the captain is like the GOAT greatest of all time meme person too.
Thank you. I
But
agree.
yeah, but no, and then there's George, who I forget her name, but there's that British chick that follows us on Twitter. And she, like, because the time zone is different, it's the first thing she does when she wakes up or whatever, like she'll hop on Twitter and look at like our tweets and stuff to see which, even before she probably watches the show, she like looks at her tweets. So people
Oh,
live to read our live tweets and shit.
yeah, you meet her name is Prin.
Yeah, Prin, yeah.
And yeah, she literally is in the UK and she Never fails, because I remember one week I was watching The Last Resort, and it was uneventful, and I was like, I'm not doing an after show. I have nothing to say. And I skipped it, and I woke up to a message from her stating how disappointed she was that she didn't get my commentary, because it's just what she looks forward to. My tweets, Shabooty tweets, our commentary. So yeah, if we're talking about you, it's a compliment, because there's people. I don't talk about Sarper and Shekinah. I don't care about them. So if I'm talking about you, you should feel special, because you matter enough that I'm wasting my breath on you.
Yeah, no, and big shout outs to Prin because she always looks out for me. When people are like shit talking me, she always like claps back and shit. So yeah, thank you, Prin, for always looking out for us.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah, true. All right, what's the next topic? Let's see. Let me find our topics list. Let's see. Oh yeah, so there's a Karine GoFundMe, right?
Yeah, I saw. So
I did. Yep.
Karine and Paul, they kind of pop up every year or so.
It's kind of like Lauren's STD.
Right when you think that it's cleared up, it comes back and you're pissing blood again, right? Like right when you think everything is good, Paul and Karine pop back up with either Paul's dead again or Karine needs money, whatever is going on, and it's even more outrageous than before. They kind of are like little Josh Cedar Juniors at this point. Like they just pop up every now and then. So Karine is popping up, and she's saying that I think this one, if I read it correctly, she's afraid that she's gonna get deported.
Well, okay, so the title, I pulled it up just now. The title says help reunite a loving parent with their children.
The loving mother?
So wait, I'm confused by that, because her two children were permanently adopted, and she has absolutely no legal right to those children.
Okay, do you want me to read the description or whatever?
Well, yeah, what children is she talking about?
Okay, here's the description. It says, I come here out of desperation and as a last resort. While fighting to regain custody of my kids, Paul's cousin, who I have always offered everything I could help my children. Oh, let me read it again. While I fight to regain custody of my kids, Paul's cousin, who I have always offered everything I could to help my children, declined because she owns a very large interstate construction company and told me she didn't need it. Now she has demanded child support, which is over 50% of my income. I work part-time at UPS and attend college at the UPS program at JCC. My child support obligation is over $1,000 a month. I have to pay to see my children, which is almost $400 a week at a supervised facility. The family court lawyer now wants $5,000 a month. My daily and monthly living expenses are overwhelming.
All right.
There's like two other paragraphs, but I don't know if we want to read it all.
So here's the thing, right? So I didn't know, I can't say I didn't know, because I don't know how true this is. Usually when children are permanently adopted and removed from the family or the mother and father, they don't typically place them in somebody close to the mother and father's care, because the court wants to protect the children.
Right.
So if the children are placed in, I think, what did she say, Paul's cousin's care?
Well, it could also
then
be someone in the family, you can take custody. Someone in your family can take custody of the children if they don't want you, like the family feels bad that you're going to be separated from. So they'll take custody to raise them up, and you can still see them and be in their lives, but you're no longer, you know what I'm saying? Like grandparents do that all the time. Now they'll take custody of their grandkids, and if the mom or dad is on drugs or whatever, the grandparents will take full custody, and the parents will come around eventually and see them, but they won't be put in a completely different home where they're with strangers. So that's not totally far-fetched.
Even if they're being removed for safety, reasons, like they still would put them where the parents can still have access to them. I didn't realize.
They'll have supervised visits with that parent who might pose a threat to them. They'll let them have supervised visits, but as far as them asking for child support, I don't know. I don't think that's really.
You can't ask for child support if the child has been removed by court order.
Absolutely you can't. No.
That goes out the window. Child support goes out the window because now they're being
parental rights have been terminated. Because if anything was to happen, for instance, to the person who took custody of those children, the state would not give the children to Karine or Paul. state would find someone else because they have terminated all parental rights between the actual birth parents. That's what it means when they permanently remove a child from your care. It means they don't see any time in the foreseeable future or next 100 years that you're going to be a suitable parent for those children. And they've decided that you are no longer in the running to be that person. So I don't know I don't understand any of it because there's no way. And I mean, the only thing that I can think of is maybe Paul's cousin allegedly is maybe blackmailing her and it's like, oh well, you can see your children if you give me money. It's like an extortion type situation. But when it comes to these two, what can we even remotely think is true that's coming out of their mouth when it's never?
I don't. Yeah, it seems odd. And then the other part that's kind of weird is she's all in the GoFundMe. There's a whole paragraph about like she's worried that her like newborn baby after it's born could be taken away from her.
Well, the court's definitely going to revisit her parental responsibilities and her mental state before they let that baby go home with her from the hospital, because they're going to be like, well, she already has two that were taken from her and had to be placed in the care of someone else. So we're going to revisit her to see, how she's doing. It looks like the house she's living in is pretty, pretty nice house. And the guy looks like he's
Well, anyway, just we don't have to get fully into it, but just for the record, so are you curious? The goal for the GoFundMe is $50,000, but do you want to know what it's currently raised at? Like what's okay, here. Oh, do you want to do guesses or should I just say?
I was gonna guess $500.
Okay, George says 500. What do y'all guess?
I say 50.
I say 50.
Oh,
okay.
I already looked, so I already know.
Well, don't say if you know. Okay, so the answer is $1,055.
That's what I'm saying.
Somebody give her $1,000?
There is always a sucker out there who's gonna buy into something. That's why GoFundMe is so popular for scammers. There's always a sucker who's gonna buy into this little story that you're selling. There's always gonna be someone.
But how can they give her money? She doesn't even have custody of the kids.
Well, look at look at Mary and Brandon. Remember Mary and Brandon? They will always post a GoFundMe when they want something, like if they need new cell phones.
They had their kid and they were actually living in the Philippines. But she's in the United States.
Well, yeah, she's in the US and she's working, as far as she said.
She's working and she's going to college, and she doesn't even have custody of her kids.
I mean, I don't know what made these people give her money. I don't know. It's idiotic. But
yeah, that $1,000, please give that towards our Patreon to help support the podcast.
Again, George, it could be like I told you last time. Tax season is afoot, so it can be people laundering money.
Well, yeah, that's true too. It could very well be people who don't want to pay taxes on some earnings or winnings or something.
Yeah, let's move. So then I guess there was some more news with like Paul, but I didn't post about it because I don't like his whole boy that cried wolf bullshit.
Well,
but
yeah, he did. We could just mention that.
Yeah, we could just run through real quick. But there's some story where like I don't know, he had like some kind of medical emergency, and then I heard like the doctor allegedly jumped on his Instagram and posted an update on his Instagram, which I felt like that's very weird. Why would a medical professional jump on your social media to give an update to the world of how you're doing?
Well, they wouldn't. First of all, with HIPAA laws, and I know, he's in another country, but your medical information is not something that people can just go online and share. So no doctor, I don't think in any country would go and violate the patient-doctor confidentiality.
Yeah, they get their license suspended.
Right. So it's all BS. It's all made up. And like I said, every year or so they pop up and he dies. I guess so. Okay, there's a comment that I need to reread. I think that somebody said it. Basically, when Josh Cedar died the first time, Paul died immediately after, and then when Josh Cedar died the second time, Paul died a little time after that. So it does kind of look like Paul is copying Josh Cedar's lead with pretending to be dead and then coming back alive. And so, yeah, at this point, why can't it be made a crime to pretend that you're dead when you're not? Or at least, your Instagram, like Instagram should take action and delete your Instagram account. Like if you continue to use your Instagram account to fake your own death, they should delete your account.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like it's ridiculous, and it's all like clamoring for attention, basically.
Oh, and that's true too. Pineapple says, let's not forget Josh Cedar was romantically involved with Karine. Yeah, that
Oh, yeah, yeah.
so yeah, I definitely think that he takes lead from whatever Josh is doing. So maybe the next post we see will be Paul dressed in as a trans woman. Because that's what Josh has been doing lately. Oh,
Oh yeah. Oh God.
Raven said, "Who is Josh Seeger?" I don't even know where to begin with that. Like, where do I even begin? He's a person that posts fake news all the time. Who unfortunately used to be one of my friends. That's like the short answer.
Yeah. He's the one. He was on The Bachelor and got kicked out the first episode he was on, I think.
Yes, yes, and has been posting fake news ever since.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next topic. Let me pull up our topics list. Hold on. Let's see. What else do we got?
Oh, we were supposed to talk about Diaries.
True.
The trailer for 90 Day Diaries was released. And okay, so in my opinion, I'm just going to put this out there. Diaries is one of my least favorite spinoffs of the 90 Day universe. Do y'all feel the same way, or is it a hidden gem to you? Like, I don't like.
See, the part I don't mind the people or whatever that are on it. What I mind is the like self-recording, like production wise, it just comes across very boring.
Well, it's the only show or spinoff that they don't use a camera crew for. And I'm trying to understand, would it kill them to send at least one person out there to help them film the season? Like, I don't understand why they keep. I know during 90 Day Quarantine is where this show was born. They did it during that quarantine because we couldn't interact with people, so they couldn't send a camera person out to film you. But now that COVID is over, you can very well send somebody out to film these scenes. So the fact that they've continued to use the self-filming method for the show, I think it really devalues the content. It looks like, well, I don't want to say it looks like they filmed it on a phone. They did film it on a phone. I don't know if
Yeah, like they literally have like for people that don't know, they literally have like selfie sticks and put the
yeah.
phone on the selfie stick and record themselves.
Yeah, so when you get picked for 90 Day Diaries, they send you an iPhone and a ring light, and they literally tell you to film your own stuff, and it's literally filmed on an iPhone, not even like a nice Canon or Vivid or whatever. It's like filmed on an iPhone. And I think it really devalues the show. But there was a scene on there that I thought was funny. I don't know if I should say funny, but Rebecca and Zayed. So remember Rebecca used to be a private investigator, right? That was her job before her and Zayed got together. I don't know if y'all don't remember. She was a private investigator, and she specialized in finding out if people were cheating on their spouses. That was what she did. And her season of Diaries is her and her daughter spying on Zied and finding him out with another woman. Now, again, this could easily be a storyline. They haven't been on TV in a really long time. So this would be a really good segue into The Last Resort season 3. But I thought it was interesting that she was supposedly finding him cheating on her episode of Diaries.
Sounds like a storyline to me.
Well, yeah, when I analyzed it, I was like, well, that's perfect. So they'll be on 90 Day The Last Resort season 3 because he's quote unquote cheating on her, which could be. I don't know. They've been gone for so long. I don't know what to believe. I barely remember them. So I did remember that she was a private investigator when I saw her staking out in the car. I did remember that part.
That's a good memory because I forgot that.
Yo, yeah. And Raven said, wasn't she managing a restaurant? So Raven, she was a private investigator, but she was not earning the 50 or 60K a year that makes you eligible to bring someone over and sponsor them to the US. She was bringing Zied over. So she quit her job as a private investigator and began managing a chicken restaurant. Because paid 65,000 per year. And now that chicken restaurant is now no longer. We found out recently that place has closed down.
Oh, and then that was in Georgia, right?
Yes, that was in Georgia.
Is she in Atlanta or what?
She lives really close to Molly, really close to Woodstock, Georgia, if I'm not mistaken. Her and Molly live less than an hour from each other. I want to say less than 30 minutes from each other, but ironically, we've never really seen them together. So I don't know what the deal is with that.
Okay, here's a teaser for later in the show. Speaking of Georgia and Atlanta area, here's our teaser for the later in the show. one of my favorite bits that we do is like the 1-star reviews, especially for strip clubs. So we're gonna do later in the show is so if you're unaware, Molly's daughter, what's Molly's daughter's name again?
Olivia.
Olivia, right?
Yeah, that's where Livy Ray Lingerie comes from. It's her nickname, Livy.
Yeah, so Livy, aka Olivia, she dances at like the pink. This isn't, by the way, just so y'all know, this isn't me like this isn't me this is not me exposing her. This is the stuff that she puts out online, like on her OF and her social media. So it's not me like it's out there by her. So she dances at like the pink, I think it's called the Pink Pony in Atlanta. And so we're gonna read later in the show, we're gonna read 1-star reviews of the Pink Pony. And that's like my favorite segment, and they're usually really funny.
Yeah, I'm interested in that. And we recently on one of our episodes discovered her OnlyFans.
Yeah.
And it was very graphic. So yeah, so we'll be reading those reviews of where she dances, and maybe hopefully if we're lucky, they'll be run about her.
True. Here's another teaser that only Gina and I know. There's one there. Okay, it's really fun. How do I say this without spoiling it? But let's just say I can't remember if it was the landing strip or if it was the Players Club or whatever it was in the 8 Mile Road strip club. But let's just say this. There's going to be a reviewer that we're going to read later in the show who is apparently a repeat reviewer at multiple strip clubs. So we're going to read his review as well.
Oh.
At one of the strip clubs that we've talked about before.
In a different city, the same guy popped up in Atlanta reviewing strip clubs that we read in Michigan.
A strip club connoisseur.
Yeah, he's a connoisseur. He's like we're going to turn him into a goat, greatest titties in his face of all time. Yes.
If we're lucky, maybe we can have him on so he can tell us about all of the different strip club escapades that he's been a part of.
Yes, I'm very looking forward to actually. I feel like Gina, should we actually jump into it? Because I'm all like hyping myself up.
I'm for it right now. Let's do it.
We have more diaries to talk about though, because
okay, what other what should we talk about diaries before we switch topics?
We made a huge revelation that Big Ed was going to be back on Diaries, and then you weren't even going to talk about it.
Oh, yeah, we should probably mention that. And yeah, well, it was interesting that Big Ed was not in any of the multiple trailer videos.
He wasn't. So I was going to ask you, how did you know that he was going to be featured? Or
did you see my post?
No.
Okay, hold on. Let me pull it up real quick. And the reason I know is Liz spilled the tea. I don't know if she probably didn't realize. She probably didn't realize I was gonna like, well, Liz will jump in the comment section like arguing with people, but not realizing like if you spill tea arguing with a fan, like I'm gonna screenshot that and turn it into a post. So that's what happened was I forget what the whole dialogue was, but Liz was in my comment section about the diaries, and she was going back and forth with the fan, and I forget the whole conversation, but Liz basically responded saying to the fan, like, well, I hate to break it to you, Sugar, but he, aka Big Ed, is on this season too. So basically Liz said it in my comment section and then I reposted it.
So Liz dropped the tea. So this is interesting because I was not aware that he was going to be featured. And I knew a lot of the people who were going to be featured on Diaries.
Mhm.
That Ed situation, I wasn't aware. So she definitely spilled tea that wasn't well known. I didn't know. There are quite a few people this season that are going to be featured that weren't in that preview. But I didn't know that Ed was going to be on. So, but you've been saying all along that there's no chance that Ed was going to go away. You've literally been saying that all along.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's a staple. The only thing I'm curious about is I'm wondering, remember when there was that whole hubbubaloo where he like had a fake engagement with a chick and she gave her, or he gave her the, what's it called, paperclip ring?
Yeah.
I was at a public place.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that will show up on Diaries. I don't know.
Probably. You can't never underestimate. These people are always filming for something.
Yeah.
That's probably going to be inducted into the show too, 90 Day Diaries.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was my little tea. But aside from there was a ton of people in the trailer, but I know Tyree is going to be back. I know Sophie's going to be there. Liz will be there. I guess Liz will be there with her daughter, and then I know
Oh,
there's
and the beginning of the end with Kara's relationship. We've been talking about this for so long, guys. So
Mm,
the beginning of the end of Kara and Guillermo's relationship is gonna start on the 90-day diaries. Remember where I told you that he quit his job randomly?
mhm.
She's finally gonna address that on 90-day diaries. And guys, it's been like a year. But she's finally gonna tell everybody exactly, what happened, why they're no longer together. We're finally getting into that.
Like the part of 90 Day Diaries that I find very like super cringe, and I'm not faulting the cast members because that's what they're tasked to do, and it was and this happened also. So it happened with Cara and Guillermo where they had the little fight that's in the trailer, but it also I remember happening with like Ariella and Ari and I'm having a brain fart.
Yeah, I remember.
Benny, Ari and Benny, where it's so awkward where it's kind of one of those things where it's almost like a staged. I'm not saying the fight isn't real, but it's like a staged fight. It's like it's for your Ari, I'm about to fight with Benny. If you're Kara, I'm about to fight with Guillermo. So it's like Guillermo, I'm about to get into your ass and have a fight with you. But before we start this fight, let me roll camera. So it's like a very awkward situation where it's like, all right, we're doing a self-recording of 90 Day Diaries. I'm really pissed off at you for X, Y, and Z. I'm about to have a fight with you, but before we fight, let me hit record. So it's very like awkward. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, because who turns on a camera when they're gonna have an actual fight?
Yeah. You agree, George?
No, I agree. It's very cringy and fake. And also,
Where are they now of my 600-pound life? Like, we really want to see what Guillermo and Cara up to. I mean, that happened like years ago. That couple should this show the Diaries. It's really a waste. It's like the last resort. It's a waste of time and production because we've seen these people on Pillow Talk. We've seen them on the other show. We've seen them on the other show. Now we're gonna go a year back into their lives to see what they've been up to and this and that because I mean, look at Annie. Someone just posted about Annie's journey. Annie started her journey 2 years ago. Now she's finally, gonna have the baby, but we're not gonna see that far. We're gonna see her going through the whole in vitro process. Like,
Mhm.
we already know she had the baby. We really want to see her go through all of that?
not really. I mean, but we're also watching Chantel. Chantel is coming back after her show was canceled. And he's
And Jenny and Summit too.
yeah, Jenny's a bit
Tyler's gonna be on Diaries.
and Debbie. Yeah, Chantel, Colton, Debbie, Robert and Annie, Submit and Jenny. Um,
Mhm. And then George, is it 30-minute episodes or 1 hour episodes?
as far as I know, it's an hour. It was an hour. So I
Well,
don't
okay, so Liz had posted something, and then she said there's gonna be like back to back. It like each night, Monday night, I guess it's like back to back episodes. So the question is it back to back 30-minute episodes or is it back to back 1 hour episodes?
oh no, back to back 30-minute episodes. It's
Yeah,
never been
that's how it was last time. I think it was just
Yeah.
30-minute episodes.
but two
Okay.
each
Yeah,
night.
so each Monday is gonna be two 30-minute episodes. So it's back to back episodes each Monday.
Yeah. Yeah. And Veronica is back. Um,
Oh yeah.
Colton, Debbie. I think Libby and Andre are back as well, and their storyline is Andre convinced her to move to Moldova with him, which is so stupid because he wanted nothing more than to leave Moldova and never ever 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 go back. So the story it's just getting to the point where everything is getting ridiculous with these fake storylines.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's too much already. It's too much. I think they lock these folks into a contract that they can't get out of, and they can't boot them, so they just keep recycling them and putting them, like shuffling them around to different shows. I think that during the pandemic, they locked these folks into a contract, not knowing when the pandemic was going to end, and now they can't get rid of them because what purpose do we have to see Veronica again?
George, remind me. So they have a contract, and then when they appear on Diaries, it kind of resets the time of the contract, meaning they could keep them under contract longer.
Well, anytime you film something new, you have to sign a new contract.
Hmm.
So And when you sign a new contract, it resets. So when they film for Diaries, their contract resets, and I think it's a 2 year. It's usually like a 2 year non-compete contract where you can't go film for VH1 in that for those 2 years. So yeah, each time they sign on, they can't work for any other network filming anything during that time. So they kind of lock themselves out, if you want to be real. Because if someone came to me and said, "Hey, do you want to film Diaries?" or do you want to be an open agent, like a free agent and you can go film anything you want with anyone, I would pick that because Diaries, no one's going to watch it. Like it's literally,
and you're in, and it still applies if you're just on like one episode, right?
yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're airing on the show, period, you have to restart the contract. I actually have a good friend who was a part of the 90-day franchise that they asked them to film Diaries and they said yes up until they realized they had to sign another 2 year contract and then they turned it down because they said I just don't want, and that keeps you off of podcasts, it keeps you off of talk shows, it keeps you off your local news. You can't do anything during
yeah you're right, because though they could you sign that 2 year contract or whatever, and then they say don't go on 90-day Fiance Fridays.
Yeah, but these people will sign it just so they don't have to get a real job. They just stay on the TLC payroll.
Yeah, but the Diaries doesn't pay much if you're on one episode, right?
That's fair. Anything not to get a job and be on TV. Because I bet you when they do the Diaries, when they did Diaries last time, none of these people had jobs. Like they didn't show this person going to their workplace. They didn't show this person coming home from their workplace. None of these people, all these people were just sitting around bullshitting.
What were you going to say, George?
Well, Diaries is a little different from the other shows. The other shows you're paid per episode. Diaries, you're paid one amount. So if you're on this season of Diaries, I don't want to say the right amount, but say for instance you get $2,500. You could be in 6 of those episodes. You're only going to get $2,500. It's a one-time payment.
Okay, can you say if it's more than $2,500?
It's not.
Oh, so interesting.
So you get a 2-year contract and only get paid $2,500?
But he's saying it's not even that much.
That's a hypothetical number.
But I'm saying you're still locked into a contract where
you're as a non-compete or whatever. You can't go on another thing for 2 years.
No, that's not enough money for you to not be on anything else.
Well, you can do something else, but you would have to pay the penalty for breaking the contract, which I think is $50,000.
Yeah, so it's not worth it.
Don't do that.
Like to me, if I was the 90-day person, I would definitely do Pillow Talk because I heard that pays really well, but I definitely wouldn't be that interested in Diaries.
It's the lowest on the totem pole. Like a lot of people thought that Love in Paradise was the lowest on the totem pole. This one is, as I think, probably the lowest performing show and the lowest paying show of the franchise if you were going to do any show. And this is kind of like a last resort for the people, like you said, Cap, who don't want to get a job, who don't want to be off TV.
Stay on there and just, hang around until they come up with a new show, and then they'll probably call you back. Because, I mean, where else do they go? They don't go nowhere. Every time we turn around, they're back on the TV.
Yeah. Well, okay, so Raven says it's likely if you do Diaries, you'll get a show. So I think that that's true. Like Lauren and Alexi are on Diaries, which, we've asked numerous times to stop putting these people on our TV. But I do think that, because I know for a fact that Cara and Guillermo filmed something other than Diaries. So I think Diaries was their segue into what they ended up filming. So I do think that sometimes they'll use these shows as a way to get you on another show. Like, for instance, Rebecca and Zied being on here and she's saying he's cheating on her. That's an easy way to push them into the next season of The Last Resort. Like, they use it as a segue to get you into the storyline that they're setting up for you.
Yeah, so we're going to see them on that show because that makes perfect sense.
Well, right. Do you think he's really cheating on her? I don't think so. Zied isn't no model. Okay, like, I don't think that he's out here living a double life. I don't think he's, like, mentally able to. That's like Florian cheating on Stacy. I don't think he is, but
you got to think also Zied was very young and he has no children, and he comes from a culture where having children is very important.
That's true. That's true. And Rebecca can't. Yeah, she already said she can't have any children, so that is true.
Yeah, that's very important to remember. His family was very worried about that. and she was worried about that having children thing. Right?
Okay, should we go move on?
Yeah, move on.
Yeah, I think that's enough of the Diaries thing. And some people were asking if Natalie is gonna show up on Diaries, and I don't know the answer to that, but I was told there's a very strong possibility that Natalie will be on Diaries.
Unfortunately, yeah, if that's the case.
So for the people who were hoping that that was the last we saw, because Natalie and Josh broke up on the last episode of The Last Resort, the one that just aired. He finally ended their fake relationship.
God.
Yes, they called it quits for their fake relationship. It's been over 3 years they've been fake dating each other. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, maybe this will be the last time we ever see her and him. But I can't say that she is on Diaries, but I know when somebody gave me the total number of cast members that filmed for this season of Diaries, and then based on how many people that I know did, there's a gap. There's a gap in the number. So there's more people that I don't know about.
She's probably on there somewhere.
I'm assuming now that she's single, they're gonna have to at least, even if they're closing out her story, they would have to close it out with it. So this is probably what
we already did Single Life, Last Resort, now Diaries, so we can see what she's up to now. And then from Diaries, it'll be God knows what else. But she's gonna be on Pillow Talk probably.
Probably her and her mom, but you're not wrong.
That's where 90 Day Fiancé cast members go to die. Pillow Talk.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's their last stop. After that, there's nothing else.
And Sherry asked if Sophie is on it. Sophie is on it. Rob is on the one show. Sophie's on the other.
True.
Of Diaries.
Yeah, Sophie's on Diaries.
I got the whole crowd. The whole crowd is there.
Yeah, the whole gang. The whole gang. Exactly.
All right, so let's go to the strip club reviews.
All right.
Okay, and then apparently there's like a ton of them. So, George, I'll let you be the arbiter of. I'll read through them, and then if at some point whenever it's too much or you're bored, let me know, and then I'll stop.
Oh, so okay.
Because I feel like there's so many reviews. So,
it's to me that people go to strip clubs and write reviews about it. That's so weird.
Well, you got to review the business, because how would other people know to patronize it?
I go to so many different businesses, and I've never written a review.
You know what's fun? You know what's funny though is like I think I might have sent it to you, but like a week or so ago, on Reddit, I guess. Well, do you know like what is it? Brandon's mom from Brandon and Julia in Virginia. They have like a farm.
Yeah.
So then, anyway, so apparently someone rated the farm in Virginia like a 1-star review, and then Brandon's mom Betty kind of clapped back and says, I forget her exact words. I don't have it in front of me, but basically she was saying like the reviewer's like, how dare you give us like a 1-star review? I don't even know who you are. I don't think you were ever at our farm. Why are you like saying all this stuff? So she kind of clapped back at a 1-star review.
What do they do on the phone that it gets reviews? Do they like sell something to people?
Yeah, they sell you milk.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
I don't know. I could next show. I could have it in front of me, but I just thought it was funny that like Betty got a 1-star review, but she turned into Karen and started clapping back.
All right, do a couple of these reviews because I don't have much time left.
Okay, JLP. No need to bring down the show because you have to leave. No, I'm kidding. Just kidding.
I'm sorry.
Okay, let's see. Let me look at some. Yeah, there's a ton of reviews. So let me see. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna start. Okay, should I save the best one for first or last?
Last.
But
Okay.
if George gets bored, then you want to save and then you want to jump in.
Okay, I got you. Okay, George. When George, I'm gonna read them, and then when you get to the point where you're bored, let me know. Then I have like the grand finale for you.
Booty, do one good and one bad.
I purposely haven't. Well, Gina, thank you, Gina, for providing these to me. She's the one that screened these. I purposely haven't screened them because I like reading them like fresh.
Okay.
So I could react like fresh. Anyway, let's just start.
All right.
Okay, one star review. Just George, when you get bored, let me know. 1-star review from Mole. Okay, and this is a Pink Pony, I think in Atlanta, where Molly's daughter dances. This is 1-star review from Mole. It says great. If you want a GTA mini game simulator, I paid $260 for 30 minutes only for the dancer to dance for 5 minutes and then sit across from me and talk to me for the remaining time. Don't get a separate room. It's a ripoff. This whole establishment is bunk. And then this is a situation where the establishment claps back in the replies of the one-star reviews. So this is the establishment responding from the Pink Pony owner. It says, Mole, we appreciate you taking your time to leave us feedback about your experience. We always have managers on duty that are there to assist you anytime. We would like to hear more from you about your experience. Please call or stop by the club during business hours and speak to our manager. We hope to serve you again soon. Thanks, Pink Pony. Okay, next review. From the Rizzolator.
What?
The guy's name is Rizzolator.
If he had Riz, he wouldn't be at the strip club, but okay.
I never, one star review. It says, you should not be allowing your door girl Brittany to stream live on her TikTok while customers enter your establishment and she's quote unquote working. I find it very concerning that after I paid, I looked over and she was recording me. Even if my face isn't shown, there's a major privacy issue, especially at a place like this. Do not come here if you want privacy broken as soon as you step in the door and after you've already paid, or have a sign saying Brittany is live streaming on her TikTok her entire shift.
Somebody's married.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but I understand that. Like, even if you're not married, like you don't want your face there.
Yeah, you don't want to be on
Wait.
TikTok
Like,
live.
what if you work in
Wait.
corporate?
What's embarrassing about going to the strip club? Should I be embarrassed?
No, there's nothing to be embarrassed, but like if you're a high profile person, you're not gonna want your face being shown there. If you work in like
Well, okay, so if I have a church and I'm the pastor of the church, you're right. I don't want my
well,
congregation.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Or like you're like some politician or whatever. I don't know.
I don't know why everybody is so taboo about sex. Like, there's
No,
nothing.
I know, I agree with you.
There's nothing wrong with going to the strip club. Like, that's, I don't know.
True. All right, let's see. That was from Rizzolator. The next one is from Philip Forbnecken. He says, 1 star. I would not recommend. The staff is rude and condescending, and they will drain your wallet at their last resort. If there's another strip club in Atlanta that you were thinking about, do it unless you enjoy being ripped off and treated like a piece of garbage.
Oh,
And then the club replied and says, Philip, I don't know if I need to read the replies, but
No, they're pretty like
like
standard copy
they're
and paste.
saying, okay, I won't read the reviews. I mean, I won't read the replies because they're like boilerplate. Okay, 1 star Lewis. This club is very PG-13. You are not allowed any physical contact with the strippers, and some even try to charge you $20, and they dance like 3 feet away and still expect a tip. Let's see. This is a 1 star review from Lucas. All capital letters. It says, strippers, if you don't like anyone, don't agree for VIP. And don't show your attitude and humiliate them.
I'm already muted.
Okay. It says, strippers, if you don't like anyone, don't agree for VIP and don't show your attitude and humiliate them. I wasted my hard-earned money on Jupiter. I think that's the girl's name. Just for nothing. It's very unfortunate. I chose her for VIP room. In the VIP room, Jupiter sat beside me and started her interview. Quote, tell me about yourself. What food do you like? Quote, what music do you love? What game do you watch? And so many other great, parentheses, disgusting and pathetic questions, thinking I'm an idiot. 30 minutes gone just like that. She did not even move an inch from that place for the entire 30 minutes. You know, she also chose a date for my next VIP visit. Pathetic. Might be she planned to ask questions about the world leaders and culture. I think she planned to schedule many VIPs with me until I went bankrupt and homeless. No, I saw her doing wrestling and gymnastics just for $20 with many of the other customers at the tables outside. I realized only after the VIP that $20 was enough for her. I lost $300. Embarrassing, frustrating, pathetic, and disgusting. Lessons learned. Don't waste your hard-earned money on these embarrassing and humiliating things. Spend the money to homeless and poor. Donate the money to cancer hospitals. and to people who need it and deserve it, at least we get some blessings and satisfaction.
Not to be rude, but he is probably ugly.
Oh, and then I missed the last part. The last one says, spend money on good food and so many good things. Never ever spend on this.
Because if $20 made her holler with other guys, he's probably ugly.
Yeah, but when you're a stripper, you're not in there as looking for a good guy. You're looking for money. So you dance for anybody that's paying.
Really?
Yeah, strippers don't have the option to pick and choose. They got to dance for whoever's, the money's at.
Oh, see, I couldn't be a stripper. I can't be into nobody that I'm not into.
That's
I
how
can't.
it works, George. The strippers don't decide who they're gonna dance for. It's who's making it rain.
Oh, and then they have to pretend that they're like into the guy. Oh, okay.
Well, you're getting paid.
Oh, so I guess he has a reason to be mad because she took the cash and didn't do nothing. And I did think it was funny that she was trying to pretend like she wanted to get to know him because it's a strip club. Nobody is there to get to know you.
Yeah.
So,
It's like prostitutes.
yeah.
Don't go with you because you're handsome, they go with you because you're paying.
Mhm.
True. This is true. But if you're good looking, they might actually enjoy it.
That's the perk. That'll be a perk.
True. All right, here's a one-star review from Jimmy Adams. A 1-star, it says, had an awful experience at the Pink Pony. AA female 29 came with a male friend to the Pink. I don't know what AA female 29 means, but it says, I came with a male friend to the Pink Pony, and two big security guys came up to me and asked me to come with them. I know, how embarrassing. Making things even worse, they asked me to check my purse because a waitress misplaced her bag and believed I stole it. They checked my bag to find nothing. I wasn't furiously mad, but I was very embarrassed. I asked the security, quote, why would I steal a broke ass waitress's bag? End quote. The white security guard instantly was like, quote, you need to leave. You had too much to drink. And then proceeded to walk me out.
I know what the AA stands for.
Asian American.
Alcohol Anonymous.
African American.
Look at me. I said Asian American.
No, because they said I asked the white security guard. So yeah, African American.
Oh, okay. I thought it was, for a second, I thought it was Alcohol Anonymous, but I guess it's African American. Okay,
Yeah.
my bad.
Alcohol Anonymous person. Come on, Shabooty.
Okay, quote. Or the white security guard instantly was like, you need to leave. You had too much to drink. Proceeded to walk me out and threatened to pepper spray me. It was so awful. My parents want me to hire an attorney. Not to mention my friends are regulars there and spent $9,000 that day. And I came all the way from Dallas, Texas. Blah. Okay, and then this is a 1-star review from WDW guy. It says, there's nothing that can ruin your weekend when you just want to grab a couple dances and drinks at Pink Pony and you drive 30 minutes to get there only to find out there is zero self-parking available out of the very few spots they have for self-parking, and then you're forced to do valet. Pretty shady practice if you ask me. Needless to say, I turned around and left. I didn't even walk in the door this afternoon and it was put off. That's a bad sign, friends. Beware. So apparently this guy probably wouldn't also be a fan of a landing strip.
Yeah, $7 ballet pops out of the bushes, chases you in the club.
Yeah, landing strip where it has the twin valets, since Matt has a twin apparently.
Yeah, he does have a twin. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess be prepared if you like strip clubs and you're driving. Be prepared for the valet or take an Uber.
Here's my question. If you're going to a strip club, that's not something that I do sober. So why the hell are people driving there when you could just take an Uber? Because you're going to be drunk when you leave, right? So like that's the weirdest thing that I hear people are driving to strip clubs.
Yeah, or they can't afford to drink there, so they have like one drink or something.
Well, I mean, I guess that's true too. That's a drunk activity for me. Like, I don't even know if I would enjoy it if I was sober. I would feel bad for myself. If I have to pay a girl to dance for me, I'd probably feel bad for myself.
True. Okay, here's a 1-star review from Landon. It says, "Oh well, hold on. Well, I'll read the review. Then he posted an update. So first, I'll read his review, then I'll read the update. It says literally got robbed by the owner.
Oh,
It cost me $30, $20 for entry and $10 ATM fee. Oh, apparently if you use the ATM, it's $10.
oh shit.
Oh,
That's
sounds
a trip.
that's how it is in the casino though.
Mm. So per person plus parking to get in per person. We had three people, so $93 spent in walking into the door. We
Oh,
go buy a round of green tea shots, tiny, and we were told that the total will be $40 for three tiny shots. We didn't take them. We handed them back and said that's okay. We will just get beers. At this point, the manager and bodyguard come over and force us to leave with no refund. We were there for all of 10 minutes. I want to give the management an opportunity to return our money before I file a police report for robbery and officially press charges. Absolutely wrong and unacceptable. And then he posted an update. It says, update, I called and they basically attempted to belittle me, trying to justify that they're in Atlanta and I should be prepared to be treated like that. Do not go here.
Oh.
I feel like in this one I do want to read. The Pig Pony did reply, and I actually am interested to read their response. The response was, "We're extremely sorry to hear about this and sorry to disappoint a customer client. We reach out to us at this number, blah blah blah, as we want to hear your concerns and address them in the most suitable way. We look forward to hearing from you. Can you please provide a name of who you talked to so we can address this as soon as possible? Thank you for your feedback. We look forward to speaking to you so we can attempt to come to a solution." So there's that. 1 star review from DB. It says, beware. If you're some sort of color, this is not the place for you. If I can give no stars, I would. From my experience, Erica was extremely rude and out of line. Parentheses, slamming drinks and snatching money out of patrons' hands. I do not recommend this place at all. P.S. It has nothing to do with her being there for a long time. She had just started her shift. First impression is a lot horrible.
oh,
Oh.
this place is terrible.
That's the second one of those. So my disappointment here, none of the reviews are about the dancers. Y'all
Mhm.
know that nobody really says if the dancers are hot or not, because that's like the only thing that I would be interested in knowing before I get there. All this other stuff is circumstantial.
Well, they say they're rude, so
I mean,
Mhm.
most hot
those
girls
are
are rude, right? Like I don't know any hot girls that are not rude. Like that's kind of expected.
yeah. Mean girls are usually pretty.
Yes, they're very, very pretty. Like
At
guys.
least when I was in high school.
You think you're gonna walk into a strip club and see a hot supermodel looking chick and she's gonna be nice to you? Like, what universe are you from?
Well,
Mhm.
again, George, strip clubs, people are in there to make money, so they're gonna be nice to you if they think you have money.
Yeah, and then if you come across broke, they're gonna ignore
Then they
your
leave.
ass.
When they see you just drinking a water bottle, they go to
Mm,
a table that's popping champagne or getting bottle service.
sure.
Hmm.
Okay, ready for more?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, okay, let's see. This is the 1 star review from Sean. It says, not giving 4 stars. It wouldn't let me give a 1 star. It says, so we got there and was top 30-minute VIP is $250, 200 for the girl, 50 for the room. Um, told that multiple times. Never told anything different. So we get the girl. She insisted time didn't start until she danced. Didn't happen, but anyways, we paid her the $200 and then the bill for the room was 180 and they said it's $60 a person. So of course had three. So instead of making it right, the bouncer came over, an older white guy, seemed like an in charge and told me if I don't pay, he'll arrest me and we can go toe to toe. He needs to lose his job because he was super unprofessional and super aggressive, and there needs to be some clarification on why I had to pay $180 for just the room when we were told it would be $50.
Arrest him?
That's what it said. And go toe to toe.
That's okay. That's okay.
Okay. All right, here's our 1 star review from Rick. If you're there to enjoy their good looking women and not pay for a private room, you'll be okay. If you decide to upgrade from the $10 public dance with any girl on the floor to a $230 overpriced 15-minute private dance, you'll sadly You'll be sadly greeted with a dancer that wants to spend more time trying to talk to you rather than dance for you or spend time taking care of you. Afterwards, you'll be pressed to tip the bouncer, dancer, bartender, private dance manager, coordinator, whatever that may be, and then be required to give a thumbprint and then sign about 2 or 3 of these areas of a form to finish your room out. Not classy, enjoyable, or as good as the dancer may make it out to be. Huge waste of time and money for a non local. The bathroom staff is a huge, useless, non informative load, also. Not worth the tip. He sits on his ass for either. Would never recommend this place for anyone. Not tourist friendly at all. Thoughts?
Okay. Well, they did say the girls were pretty though.
Mhm.
The
So
bathroom staff, what is exactly did he want the bathroom guy to do? Shake it for him?
well, you know what? I've eaten at a lot of restaurants that they have people in the bathroom that hand you a paper towel as
Yeah.
a,
Mhm.
What
yeah.
about the ones that sell the mints and have the perfume there?
Yeah. And they're like,
Yeah.
here you and then after they hand you the napkin,
You,
you
you
gotta
know, you know, I don't know if you've had this experience, but like I used to go to this one spot in New York City because I had a hookup, and there's this like African bathroom attendant, and like it was always crazy where like he always like remembered me, like I would go there in the summertime or whatever, and like but he like every time I went there, it was like he like I don't know if he had like a photographic memory or something, but he like always remembered me to the point where it's like
That
weird.
club
It's like,
on a rooftop?
huh?
Was it in a rooftop club?
It was a strip club, but
Oh,
I mean, it has a roof, but that's not. I rarely went to the roof,
I
but
remember. I remember.
I'm just saying the bathroom attendant years and years would just always recognize me, and it was like weird. It's like, dude, how do you like know me like this?
He might have peeked over the urinal.
No, 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 but
He remembered you, Shabooty.
Yeah, he peeked over there. The
no, I think he saw the aura.
mirror, he's like, whoa. That's photographic. Once you see something that stays in your mind, you'll always
Yeah,
remember where you saw it.
yeah, I don't know, but he knew me like he knew me like a 90 Day Fiance super fan would know me, you know.
Yeah,
wow.
Anyway, anyways,
had that
okay.
impression on him.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, next review. And then whenever you want me to get to that final review, let me know. Okay, one star review. I went to this club after a while and met with the most disrespectful, rude Hispanic, no offense, Captain Piccard, Hispanic bartender named Taylor, parentheses short and wide. The incident happened today on whatever 2021 around 7 p.m. I was having a drink and paying cash. Taylor refused to give me the change back after I paid for a drink. I politely asked, "Are you supposed to give me change back? And then I will tip you." She started getting mad and started calling me names even after I tipped her. She started saying, quote, "You're cheap and I don't need your money in front of other customers." She started saying, quote, "I make more money than you and I have a lot of money." I told her, quote, "I should not talk to a customer like this. I will report this." Then she got more mad and then she got more mad at me, kept pointing her finger towards me and told me, quote, "Go ahead and complain. I don't care. Nothing will happen," end quote. Very embarrassing and rude. She told a lot of other bad staff toward, she told a lot of other bad staff towards which I don't want to mention here. On the way out, I complained to the lady at the door and she was surprised too. Taylor should be fired for this. This is not acceptable at all.
Fucking Taylor fucked it up for everybody.
Yeah, Taylor done messed it up for everybody. Okay,
Mhm.
so I have been places where, especially in Las Vegas, where if you pay with cash, no matter what your total is, they're not going to bring you any change. They just
Right.
they just assume it's your tip. So
Right.
I don't know if strip clubs are on that level of that, but I have been places where if my bill was like $70 and I give them $100 bill, they don't come back.
Well, that's the tip
Yeah.
for a
No,
great time.
I feel like if it's $70 and you give them $100, I feel like you should get the third whatever. You should get it back to be able to physically hand it to them.
Yeah,
No.
I've not where I've been places where if it's you give them a close amount to the bill,
Yeah, no, if it's close, yeah, but I feel like
like within $30 or so, yeah, they don't come back.
yeah, I don't know.
They
I
were,
thought a strip club is high end though. Like those were more high end restaurants and places where I was.
Mhm.
well, you got to know exactly. You got to know your audience. If you go to a high end place and you pay with $100 bill on a 70, and you just get up and walk out. You don't even wait for them to make that eye contact.
True.
So
All right, here's a 1-star review from Becky. It says, 1 star. I got kicked off the stage as a female. Hold on. I got kicked off the stage as a female asking for the last dancer to come back out with money in my hand. No questions asked. They just kicked me out. I have been to plenty of strip clubs and they appreciate female customers. I was not dancing. I strictly went up to the bouncer and asked for the last dancer to come back out and I got kicked out. No questions asked, no second chances. Since when does a girl with money get kicked out?
Wow. I mean, I technically, if a guy did that, they probably would kick the guy out. So I guess like they have to be, um, like fair.
Hmm.
As if a guy went up and was like, "Hey, tell that last dancer to come out. I want to get her number or whatever." They'll probably tell him, "Hey, they're for you to look at, not talk to."
or probably the stripper said, "Listen, don't let her, back in here. She's trying to beat me up or something or stalking me." Because the bouncers do protect the dancers. They get a cut of the money to protect the dancers, make sure they get to their car safe and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true. So a fun story. Back in the day, this was years and years ago. I used to drive like Ubers, and I used to pick up girls from the strip club to take them home. And the bouncer, I knew a lot of the bouncers outside the strip clubs because they wouldn't let them ride just with anyone. So I was one of the Uber drivers that the bouncers were like, "Oh, he's fine, he's safe, he'll take you home." And like I would hang out there, and I've seen the bouncers when an Uber drives up and they don't know the guy, they'll send him away. So yeah, they take it very seriously. How these girls are treated and if they're safe.
True. Okay. How about I read like two more reviews and then I'll read that final review.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, this is from Ankit, Ankit. It says, 1 star. They don't allow foreigners without passports, even if they carry a valid ID, which are valid by law enforcement, stating that these are the club rules. So either get a passport or not allowed to enter. Who carries a passport while going to a strip club? Pathetic. And then let me go to this one. 1 star review from Nathan. I got kicked out for throwing crumbled slash folded money. Legal tender is legal tender. I can do that anywhere else, but here it was called amateur by a 60-year-old bouncer with glasses. At the end of the day, money was thrown. Doesn't matter what shape or fashion. I will never come back. Music is lacking and selection also.
Oh, because when you ball it up though, it's kind of like you're hitting them with something.
Yeah, it's like you're throwing paper at them. You're throwing.
Yeah. As
Oh,
I know you can't like ball it up and throw it. It's like if you threw it like balled up a piece of paper and tossed it at someone. In some states, that's considered assault.
yeah, that you can't do that. And
Mm.
besides, nobody does that anymore. Nobody ever did that. People just put it in their bikini or their
Well,
thong.
yeah, that's a perfect invitation for you to touch them when you know you're not supposed to. When you're putting that $50 bill in her G-string, that's the only time she's gonna let you do it, right?
But by the way, I'm reading the like chat and everyone was like laughing at the one that the more people were laughing at the last couple ones.
All right. Well,
All right, so
Um,
we got one more, right?
I think we have one more, and then I think Gina wanted to send me another one too. I mean, we have way more than that, but I just feel like probably
It's,
won't read all of them.
it's crazy. There's so many. It's crazy.
Okay, well, let's go to the one that was like, okay, so I don't know how well your memory is. Well, wait, hold on. Okay, let me read one more and then I'll read the final one after the one more. So the one more is, um, this one says 2-star review, mediocre experience. Some of the girls in there don't follow proper hygiene protocol. I
oh,
got a dance from some, I got a dance from
oh,
some used B gymnast chick with dreads, and she was kind of funky. Fish emoji, do better.
oh, man.
Oh no.
Oh no.
So
No.
there's the review on the girls that you were looking for, George.
Yeah, see now
Ah,
that's the one I needed to make my decision.
the
That's what I was looking
how
for.
long ago was that?
2 years ago.
Or
Oh,
maybe,
2 years ago.
yeah, maybe they switched it up.
Yeah, I'm hoping because I was under the impression when the girls get there, they make them take a shower. Like when they get to the club, even if they showered at home, it was
I
protocol.
don't think that strip clubs have shower rooms in them, George.
They don't?
I don't think so.
Have you ever watched the movie The Players Club?
Yeah,
They had showers in there.
yeah, but I don't know. Maybe a bathroom or something. I don't know. I'm old, so I don't think they
I
have
don't know. I feel like it's important that the girls are clean and smell good, though.
like a locker room. Yeah, they should.
Like,
A lot of these holes in the wall don't.
ew. Because, even at like a basketball stadium for like a high school, they have showers in the locker room. You would think that at minimal that the girl could at least take a shower.
True. All right, so okay, I'm trying to remember. Okay, Gina, remind me, is this the next person, the final one I'm gonna read? Was this person that I teased earlier, did they leave a review at Landing Strip or did they leave a review at the 8 Mile Road Players Club?
The Players Club.
Okay. So George, here's all I remember. There was one review. I wish I had it in front of me, but there was one review at the Players Club that was the funniest review, and it was by XXX Beast. Do you remember at least the name?
It sounds familiar.
Yeah, I just remember XXX Beast. I wish I had his Players Club review in front of me, but he had the funniest review. Now, the insane part is apparently XXX Beast is a strip club connoisseur because while I was in Michigan, Detroit, Michigan, he apparently also popped up in the Pink Pony in Atlanta in the review section as well. So now we have XXX Beast's review to read for y'all in Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that exciting?
It's just interesting. He's like a
Yeah,
nationwide.
he's like worldwide. He's like nationwide.
Yeah.
He's at the strip clubs. He leaves reviews.
He's the Siskel and Ebert of strip clubs.
Yeah, I was like, is
Yeah.
he an influencer, but like an influencer that only tells you
Mhm.
strip clubs to go to?
Yeah. Oh, let me see. Okay, do you want me to read before I read you his other one? I have to read because it's a classic. I almost have to make it like my wallpaper. No, but let me read you the Players Club review first to refresh your memory because it was our
Okay.
favorite one, and then I'll read you his Pink Pony review. Okay.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so this is for the super duper fans probably already know this, but let's revisit XXX Beast's Players Club 8 Mile Detroit review, which was our favorite review. Okay, here we go. Oh, I think I already it's all of a sudden it's like hitting me. The memories are rushing back into my brain before I've even read it. Ready? I know this is a little politically incorrect. Let's see. This was his Players Club Detroit review. $3 cover and $6 for parking for subpar strip club. One, maybe two decent girls, and the rest look like they should have been waitresses at a dive bar for handicapped veterans. They
Oh,
charge $7 for a damn soda and $25 for a dance. $25, they should have put a decimal point between the 2 and the 5 and made it $2.50. This was not a players club. This was this was a get played club. Fuck out of here.
I remember it. I
Yeah.
remember it.
Okay, now are you excited? Now are you ready to read his Pink Pony review?
I am. I am excited.
Okay. All right. Here's XXSBC popped back up in the review section at the Pink Pony in Atlanta. So here's his one. Ironically, it's also a 1-star review. It says, "Are you ready?" And I haven't read this before, so I don't know if it's good or not. But let's see. 1-star review from XXSBC in Pink Pony in Atlanta. Let's see. Let me take a deep breath. Last night was the second time I had been to Pink Pony, and the second time I found it utterly disappointing. After having cut my teeth at their now closed Southside location, I thought the original would be comparable. However, I was wrong. The girls really aren't that attractive. Most of them look like they most of them look like they confuse the place with a meeting of itty bitty titty committee.
Oh. Oh.
There are several that have nice rear ends, but they don't seem to care enough to actually do anything with them. The hottest girl there to me literally got on the main stage and walked from end to end. when when she would get to one end, she would shake her butt for a minute and then she would walk to the other end and do the same. Maybe she thought she was at a maybe she thought she was at a livestock show.
Oh my God.
Another one got on a satellite stage and leaned on a railing for 3 songs and never took off an item of clothing. I've heard that this is the best in Atlanta, and if that's so, I'll just move to another city. I initially got $100 in singles at the door and left with and left with 98 of them. Maybe I'll find a place where the ladies aren't so lazy and are willing to actually dance. Oh,
He said that she leaned on a
a
rail
rail.
for 3 songs.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And
Like,
she didn't take off an item of clothing.
so what was she? Was she?
I don't know, but I'm an XXXB super fan officially.
Yeah, I am too. And the fact that he moved to Atlanta, it just makes it even more amazing because he was living in Canton, Michigan, or close to Canton, Michigan, or Detroit. So the fact that he's moved to Atlanta and is now writing more strip club reviews makes me happy.
Okay, here's what the comment section says. The comment section, Jenny says, now that was hilarious. There's a bunch of like laughing emojis. And then Raven says, I wonder if that was Molly's daughter. And then Sherry says, no, with a ton of crying, laughing emojis. Um, let's see. If these are Google reviews, there's a way to see all that person's reviews. Oh, we'll have to look into that for a future show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those are the main ones. But yeah, we're gonna have to find this XXX Beast guy and like get him on the podcast.
Yeah, I definitely want to hear what he has to say about more about both clubs actually.
Yeah, he's brilliant. All right, I don't let's see, it's 1:18 a.m. So that's basically almost like 3 hours, right? And I know we haven't gotten to all our topics. I feel like we almost have to save some topics
Yeah,
for the next podcast.
we got to revisit them because those are good ones that you got on there. And
Let's just find one more topic
yeah, do
out
one.
of the list and then end it.
A lot of good ones there, so you might want to just do one. I'll do the Matt and Amani one. That one's pretty good.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that was the one where
Let's do
there
that.
was this T post on like Reddit where there allegedly is the warning. Allegedly, their former au pair posted like a recap of living with Amani and Matt. And then the part I found interesting was like that official Reddit, they kind of like closed the thread where so you can look at it as one of two ways. You can say they closed the thread because there wasn't enough evidence, or they closed the thread because the tea was too hot. And then that official 90-day Reddit is, I heard they have ties allegedly to the TLC network. So if the TLC doesn't want you talking about some shit about their cast members, they could like easily have a thread shut down. So I'm in the, and again, allegedly, but I'm in the camp that I believe it and it's real tea.
Yeah, it sounds. I can definitely see her. Yeah, being a real tea. I can see her being real tea. Her attitude screams that.
Do you want me to read it real quick? It's kind of long, but I can read it as like the final topic.
Yeah, just read it as the final topic because I'm sure a lot of people don't know what we're talking about, and then
Yeah, because it's on my Instagram, but it's not like I was one of the few people that posted it because I think it was like delete. Like I said, it was the thread was
yeah, it would have been
locked.
taken down from Twitter. It was taken down from Reddit. It would have been taken down from Twitter.
Yeah, it was taken out, but I could read it because my page at Shabooty.com on Instagram is one of the few places. So let me find it real quick and read it to y'all. And Raven says, no, not the final topic.
we got, yeah, but you had some good ones that'll probably
I mean, but this show though with Chidi is like
yeah,
gonna be a
that's what happened.
classic.
That threw us off a little bit.
No, no, I'm saying it's a classic show.
Yeah, exactly. So the least important stuff are some of the topics. We can always revisit that.
Yeah, we'll revisit. But okay, I'll just read. It's kind of long, but I'll try to read through it real quickly. So this is allegedly, the disclaimer is allegedly, this is Matt and Amani's former au pair. So I'll read their like message. It's kind of long, but I'll read it. Um, when I was an au pair and still living in America, these two clowns were my host parents. Laugh out loud. I can't believe she's desperately trying to be an influencer. These two have no business still being married and still raising these girls the way they are. Parentheses, yes, I'm calling you out, Amani, Amini, and Matt for being horrible parents. again, allegedly, these people's home, loosely using the word home here, is the saddest household I've ever lived in my entire existence. And I grew up in a not so happy household, so I know what I'm talking about. These two duckers fought every single day of the 2 years I lived with them, and they've called each other the most hurtful things in front of their children. She hates him. It shocks me how they're still pushing their sham of a marriage. Amani is a terrible, abusive human being. Again, let me just add in allegedly. And I truly hope she suffers in every way humanly possible for how she treated me while I live in her house. I hope she knows that I only stayed for that long because I truly love and cared for her children like she never could bring herself to loving them. This woman has called me a slave multiple times in front of her children, laugh out loud, and chuckled every time she said it. There's so much that happened in that house, and they caused me and their children so much trauma. I hope a family member takes it upon themselves to take those kids from them because they're going to need a lot of therapy in the future. I think bullies bully people hoping they won't retaliate. They really messed with the wrong one. I have receipts and nothing to lose. And end of post.
Yeah.
End of rant. End of rant.
Yeah, end of rant.
I mean, we know that they've done multiple shows, and we
Mm.
know that their storyline is complete BS. So I'm not saying I don't believe it, right? Like I feel like whatever they're portraying on the show, I can almost tell that it's crap. It's not legit. So it's a lot. I would love to know who this person is because I would love to.
I wouldn't put it past them because, like you said, what they're putting on TV is a script, but what they're doing inside their house is not. So if she's lived there for 2 years and she's saying that shit was not good, I think she might be right. I mean,
Mm.
I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt. Nobody's gonna go out of their way to write a long ass rant like that and be a lie. And there's no.
Okay, well, let me ask. This may be a stupid question, so I apologize for not knowing the answer. But like, are all au pairs from like another country, or are there a lot? Or are there au pairs from like the United States?
Mostly are foreign.
Okay, because this person's right English is like really good.
Yeah, most of them are from foreign countries.
Yeah, I'm just saying if they're an au pair from like another country, like the person that wrote this has really good English. Is my point.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the tweeting the message or language doesn't really matter because remember we see a lot of stuff that Natalie Crazy Eyes posts and her
Yeah.
perfect. So you can always go in and tweak it,
Mhm.
with
Yeah.
the app.
Yeah. By the way, Raven in the comments, aka Gossip Girl, she says both. A lot of them are English and Irish too. So.
Yeah.
So online says au pairs join host families through a cultural exchange program, while nannies are professional childcare providers that can be from the same country. So au pairs are normally here in a cultural exchange program. So I'm assuming that they weren't paying this au pair. I'm assuming that she
It's
was
like
here.
an exchange student type thing.
Yeah, that's why she called her a slave, allegedly, because she wasn't
Mhm.
her. And yeah, that makes it a little worse, actually.
Come here in exchange for room and board. You take care of their kids or whatever.
Mhm. Izzy in the comments says, wasn't Jess supposedly an au pair here in America from Jess and Colty?
She was.
Yeah, Jessica was an au pair too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That's how she ended up here in the US. She was an au pair. And then when that job or that exchange ended,
She,
Colt brought her over.
yeah.
Yeah. So I guess you get a room and board and stipend.
Oh, so they do pay you. Okay, so they do pay you. Okay.
Mhm.
That's good. I was hoping they weren't just using people for free labor.
For freebie. Well, you never know.
I was hoping that wasn't like an actual thing because I thought we ended slavery a long time ago.
But I have DM'd with Amani, and I will say she has a strong personality, which I know is not surprise to anyone, and she's kind of like a hard ass.
Oh yeah, yeah. I can see that.
Does she know that tweet is out there? That
No, oh, does she know? Yeah, she I forget. She did an Instagram story and kind of alluded to it, but she didn't like directly address it. But I think she just spoke in general about like Reddit. Like
And
she
what
didn't talk about the post in specific, but she talked about Reddit in general. So she kind of talked about. She didn't really like. I forget what she said, but she was basically shitting on Reddit. She was like, "Do you know the CEO or the owners of Reddit? They're, while you're on Reddit talking shit about people, the owners of Reddit, they're living their like amazing lives, happy as fuck, and not reading all the bullshit you're writing on Reddit." That's basically what she said.
Oh, so she didn't admit to it, but she didn't deny it.
Yeah, she just kind of talked shit about Reddit, saying like it's successful, but while the owners are making all this money, you're on Reddit talking all this shit, type of thing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, it's very obvious who wears the pants in that relationship. So it does the things that they said and the way that she alluded, Amani is the dresser. It's aligned for me. Like I feel like Matt has to do whatever she says. Like I definitely feel like that's the way that relationship works.
Mm-hmm. All right, so should we just, all right, people in the chat, if y'all want us to read any comments, resend your comments before we end it.
Yeah, there's a lot of comments. They don't tell you how many. Raven asked, what was the name of the Netflix show? It's called How to Be Rich.
Or How to Get Rich or something.
Or How to Get Rich or How to Be Rich. It's a Netflix show that I don't believe made it far at all. But Matt and Amani were on that show as well, pretending. I don't want to say pretending to be rich. You know, if you're on a show telling people how to be rich, you're probably not as rich as you are alluding, right?
Okay, well, people keep bugging us. Let's do it for more topics. Let's do like one more topic then. What did you think of Shekinah's like $350 facial?
Well, okay, so for me, I've never had a facial done, so I don't know how much they cost, but that does seem high. But I have a best friend that's a woman, and she tells me that she pays like $200 to $300 to get her hair done, or $150 to get her nails done. That seems high to me. So I don't know. So Cap, this is gonna be for you to answer. Is $350 ridiculous for a facial?
We can't hear you. No, we don't hear you. I just hear like echo.
Wait,
But I'm George. Huh?
Is my mic on?
Yeah, now it is.
Now we can hear you.
Oh, $350. It depends where you're getting the facial done. If you're getting the facial done at Elizabeth Arden spa salon where they do the, all that
Or
stuff.
like at a resort or something.
Yeah, something high end and fancy. Yes, 300.
So that's a normal.
But that's not a regular. But a regular face. That's way overpriced for like a regular
If
facial.
you're getting it done in an apartment kitchen.
If you're getting it done in somebody's kitchen, no, probably not $350 worth of, because remember, you're paying for the spa experience. Sitting in somebody's kitchen who probably just fried some chicken or something like that, that's not the spa experience. So she is overpricing.
Well, we've talked about back alley BBLs on here before. So do you think what Shekinah is doing or was doing at the time of filming, is this like back alley esthetician stuff? Like, is it like, because
I wouldn't say it's back alley, because if she indeed has her license and stuff, all her accreditations, then she does know what she's doing. She's licensed. The only thing that makes her seem a little bit, clandestine is her location. Because
the stuff that she's doing needs to be sterilized. It needs to be a sterile area, right? Like she does injections, she works with needles, anesthesia.
A clean and sterile environment. She should have, like a place for the person to wash their face or wash their hands, things like that.
Yeah.
And just going to her personal bathroom, it seems a little bit unprofessional. So yeah, for her setup, she can do cheaper prices. Like she can offer like maybe $100.
Do you think that her prices are because she's been on 90 Day Fiancé? Do you think that she probably charged cheaper than that, but now she thinks that since she's a television star, she's gonna charge people more?
I think she charges cheaper than that. She just said she charges more because she's on the TV show. She's not going to come on the TV show and say, I'm doing $100 facials out my kitchen. She's going to say more.
Like, were you shocked that in the photo there's a guy she's giving the facial to?
Well, yeah.
I'm not that shocked because, guys, man, do their manicuring what do they call it? Manscaping.
Manscaping.
Guys,
No, but no,
themselves.
because remember last Friday's show, I
Yeah,
was like, why don't they, I was like, well, she could get gay guys to go. And then I think Gina was saying like, well, she doesn't want guys to know where she lives, but apparently that's not a valid theory.
yeah, no, she's gonna have an issue with that. Well, she wouldn't really have an issue with that because Sarper doesn't care. He doesn't care either way whether she does facials on guys or girls. Now she would have a problem with Sarper doing a facial on a woman. You know.
Well, I saw the video of Starper's little fitness boot camp, and I didn't see any men. It was all women in the fitness boot
She's
camp.
the more insecure of the two, so she definitely have a problem with him. Now she can have a line of guys in that kitchenette, and he won't care.
Mm.
That's how I see it, at least.
And then from our understanding, she doesn't live in that cooped up little apartment condo anymore. She's now in like a house.
Oh, so she expanded her business.
Yeah, and it's a very nice house too, actually. We did a little, I don't want to say we, Gina did a little detective work, our producer Gina, and she, first of all, I was Gina, get me the square footage of the little tiny apartment that she's in, because I'm just curious. So the tiny little townhouse apartment she and moved Sarper into was 846 square feet, to give y'all an idea. And then I believe the house that she is in now, Gina, am I right to say 4,500 square feet, or is that too high? I don't remember specifically.
I'll have to look. But I think it was like 5 bedrooms, basically.
Yeah, it was a very big house. I was a little surprised at how big the house was, because it's, and she's probably paying less for the house. You have to remember she was in actual LA for her apartment, and I think she's now in Lancaster, which is a much, it's farther from the city. And you're gonna pay, the farther you get from the action, the less your money is gonna it's gonna cost you. But I was very surprised at the decent size of the house. She could easily run a very professional practice out of that size house. She could have a dedicated space nowhere near her kitchen that would be much more sterile.
True. Sherry asked, are they still together? Yeah, why not? Of course they are.
Yes. Yeah, they're still together. I couldn't care less. Like, I don't know what it is about them, but I can't stand them. Like, I just don't care about their lives. Like, when they go online, when they do their interviews, when they do their videos, I just don't care. Like, I'm just not, some people are intrigued by them. I'm not intrigued by them at all.
Yeah.
It's 2,670 square feet.
Oh, man, I was way off.
5-bedroom.
I was way off. I gave her like an additional 2,500 square feet. Okay, so that's still a massive upgrade from the 846 square feet of the apartment that she was in before. And do you think that she was in that little tiny apartment because when she married, or when she went on the show with Sarper, that the ex-husband stopped paying for everything? Is that you think what happened? Because she was living pretty decently when we first met her on the show.
Yeah, probably.
Because the ex-husband or baby daddy, he was hotel entrepreneur. He owns a hotel franchise or a chain in other countries. So it was a lot of money going in. And it's weird that these women will have such a good situation and they'll throw it all away for some loser who ain't got no money. Because Tiger Lily did it. Shekinah did it. It's like they meet the first loser who lays them out right, and they just give up everything for broke dick. And I'm just trying to understand, like, ladies, is that something that y'all want? Just broke dick living in your house?
Well, apparently the dick is only financially broken and not physically broken.
Well, right. It probably works, but it can't buy you dinner. It probably works, but it can't pay your rent. So it's like, ladies, is it worth it? Is it worth it?
Yeah, and these days the McDonald's, I grew up with the McDonald's dollar menu, but I don't think that exists anymore.
Oh, no, they don't have.
No.
It's a value menu, and I think the cheapest thing on it is like $3 or $4.
Yeah, so back in the day, broke dick could at least get you something off the dollar menu at McDonald's, but that doesn't even exist anymore.
He could come over, lay her out, and then buy her a big and tasty sandwich, right? Now he goes over, lays her out, and he's like, you got some gas money so I can get back home? Like, this is literally what ladies are giving. They're risking it all to get that dick in their house. It's like because it's like, what does Sarper bring to the table? Because he's like, oh, I'm a fitness trainer. I'm like, so is literally every other man in Los Angeles. So like, what do you really have to offer that no one else doesn't? Literally every guy in Los Angeles is either a model, an actor, and a waiter, or a fitness trainer, or all of the above. So like, what are you really bringing to the table?
True. Yeah, Lana says that broke dick is good sometimes. Don't want to keep you though.
Well, Lana would know, right? Because all of her
Yeah.
exes are dead. Lana would know, and she definitely said that she's been laid out a few times. So
Yeah. Well, Lana, I'm kind of tired, so we'll catch up with you Sunday if that's cool.
yeah, it's been a long show, and we had a lot more topics than usual, and then we had a
Yeah, this is the first time we didn't get to all of our topics.
yes, it's the first time, but we did have Chidi on, which
Mhm.
was actually a good interview. He's a good Christian boy, and we tried to um get him to say some crazy stuff, but he stuck to his values. So it was still fun though.
Yeah, and just for our listeners, so y'all know how talented we are. We didn't even we didn't like pre-write questions. That was all off the cuff on the fly.
Oh yeah. We're Barbara Walters in here, guys. We just jump into interview mode whenever someone joins. We're just ready to go.
And it kind of worked out that Lindsay wasn't here because we got to focus on Chitty, so it all worked out really well.
Yeah, it worked out. We're like a hooker in Vegas on the strip. We're just ready to go. Whenever you're ready, we're ready.
True. We're like Jasmine with her condoms. We're ready to work.
Yeah.
Anyway. So yeah, I guess we should end it at that point. Let's just read the names of the people that are listening to us live as shout outs. Shout out to Amanda. These are the people listening to us live. Shout out to Amanda, Amber Lee, Christy, Izzy, JL, Jenny, Lana, Lori. There's two Loris with different spellings. There's Musina, which I'm probably mispronouncing, Patty, Raven, Sherry, and then two Zoom users represent.
Yo, represent. We love you guys.
Hey.
True. So JLP, are you ready to end it?
Yeah, I'm ready to end it. My husband walked in at the tail end of you and George going at it, and he is dying on the floor laughing.
Wait, when were we going? When were we going at it?
About the broke dick.
Oh.
See, it's funny when people walk in on
Like, what are you
context,
talking about?
right? It's funny without context. You'll be like, "What did I walk into?"
Yeah, he's looking at me. He's like, what the hell are you guys talking about? Broken dick is good and bad. This is
He's like, what is my wife talking about?
Then Shabooty says about the dollar menu. He's cracking up. And then George's like, well, we're like hookers. We just
oh yeah, we good hookers too. We're the high end kind. We're high.
laugh. We make people laugh. Definitely.
Yeah, I can't wait to listen to this playback tomorrow.
I want good news about that whole transition to Zoom.
Wait, Lori said that Lancaster is not a good area.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Is that true? That's where the late Aaron Carter used to live. He lived in Lancaster, California. I heard that it was a decent area, so now I'm not sure. I've never been there though. So
But you know what's ironic is so if Shekinah is in Lancaster, California, isn't the irony that the Amish country is like
It's
Lancaster, Pennsylvania?
that is ironic.
She wanted to keep it. She wanted to keep it real.
Yeah, she had to get back to her roots.
Right.
I don't know, right?
But she's actually not Amish, guys. She just said that growing up there was Amish people in her neighborhood.
She has her and her sisters have Amish names, and what she said was they weren't Amish, but they adapted the Amish ways.
Yeah, because there were so many Amish people around them.
Right.
So.
They both have Amish names, and
That's crazy though. That's like me moving to Chinatown and then saying I'm Chinese.
Mhm.
That's like the most ridiculous thing, right? Because I'm
stranger things have happened.
And yeah, I don't know if you might have read it, but Lana said Lancaster's ghetto as hell.
Wait, stop. Are you serious?
Now we got to do, you know what? Next week, we'll have a deep dive into Lancaster.
Dude, does Zillow do reviews on neighborhoods?
Yes.
Do like reviews on Lancaster now. Let's do it.
We're going to do a deep dive into Shekinah's new dwelling.
Yeah, and then I think we might have mentioned this last week, but all of Shekinah's reviews are 5-star reviews because she probably deletes the bad reviews.
Yeah,
allegedly.
Her business, as far back as it goes, not one single review that's less than 5 stars.
Oh no, I don't believe that.
She works at your kitchen.
She deletes them, or she created them and she created the emails and did them herself.
Allegedly, yeah.
Even the most nice, classiest places in the world have one person that they pissed off. Like
you can't have a business for 8 years and then nobody ever disliked your service.
Well, right. Even I've been places where I've had amazing service and it's great, but I've went there once or twice where it was the worst. Either the food was bad, the service was bad, a combination of something. No one can get it right every time for every person. So it's impossible.
All right, guys.
True. All right. Well, I guess we should end it. Thank you, everyone, to listening to 90 Fiance Fridays on as we expand our horizons and new platforms.
Yeah, we are definitely in the midst of that.
Yes.
We're in the middle of it. We're in the cut of it.
Yes. So thank you, everyone, to listen to 90 Fiance Fridays. This will be on Apple and Spotify tomorrow. And this was an amazing show, in my opinion.
All right.
It was. It
Oh,
was.
and happy birthday again to Coco.
Happy birthday, Coco. You go to a nursing home and get some tonight.
All right.
True. All right. Thank you, everyone. I guess we're gonna end it there. And thank you for all the support and the love and the live listeners and the people that listen in their cars and send us pictures of you listening in your cars, and we'll share that. And just thank you for all this love and support. It wouldn't happen without y'all.
Thank you.
You.
Thank you, everyone. Peace out.
Peace out, everybody.